I'll turn the meeting over to you, please.
Okay, if we would, let's pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
with liberty and
justice for all.
Remain standing for the invocation.
Dear Lord, thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for our families. Among all that we have, there are still so many hurting and needing people. We lift them up to you and ask that you would help them, heal them, and bless them. I pray that you will give us wisdom in doing this business of the city. Give us ears to hear, hearts to understand, and minds to make sound decisions. In the name of your Son, Jesus, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Okey doke. I know I had glasses. There they are. It's the problem when you don't have your glasses on, you can't see to find them. Okay. Jennifer, would you do a roll call?
Roll call, very good. Ambrose?
Here.
Arnold?
Here.
Gunther?
Here.
Locke? O'Rourke?
Here.
Shinzing?
Here.
Woods?
Here.
Mr. Mayor, we did hear from Councilmember Locke that she was not going to be able to attend this evening. May I have a motion?
Ambrose will make that motion.
Whittle, second.
Would you like a roll call or all in favor?
Sure, roll call.
Very good. Ambrose?
Yes.
Arnold?
Yes.
Locke? O'Rourke?
Yes.
Shinzing?
Yes.
Woods?
Yes.
Gunther?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, request for agenda changes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to add something specifically from last meeting. I'd like to discuss specifically before the next audience participation that we update the code of conduct and change it in some way so that we don't have a repeat of last month or last meeting. So I don't know when you want to discuss it. I have a proposal, but I'd like to do it before the next audience participation because it's specifically for audience participation.
Okay. So do you want to go into closed session or no? No? Okay. Anybody, any other agenda changes? No? Approval of minutes. I think March 17th, I was laying on my face
It's okay.
for a week.
I was pouring green beer that day, so I did miss that.
We were both out. And April 7th, I don't know what March 17th looked like for you guys, if it matched. Anybody?
I'm good.
Good? April 7th?
I need a motion and I need a second for the
Okay.
17th, please.
Yeah, I'll move to approve the minutes for March 17th.
Thank you in a second. Thank you. Arnold?
Yes.
Locke? O'Rourke?
Yes.
Shinzing?
Yes.
Woods?
Yes.
Gunther absent, Ambrose absent.
Yep.
Okay, and then the April 7th, please.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Locke absent. O'Rourke?
Yes.
Thank you. Shinzing?
Yes.
Woods?
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Arnold? Gunther?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. We have a special guest. Great Lakes Water Authority.
You can adjust that microphone as best you can.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Sure.
My name is Suzanne Coffey. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for the Great Lakes Water Authority. We were asked to be here today. I understand that you are taking up a contract amendment for water service from the Great Lakes Water Authority. I'm here to answer questions about that or any other questions that you might have. What I was asked to do also was just give a brief kind of summary of this contract process. So GLWA has 80-plus contract customers. Walled Lake is one of those. We serve 115 communities in 8 counties, so we have a very broad reach. We have a model contract, The contract that you have before you is that model contract. The customers came together in 07, 08 and decided that everyone should have a similar contract, the same contract. So that's what you've got in front of you. But every 4 years, we go through a process where we reopen the contracts and we look at water use. Water use demands, your average day, your maximum day, and your peak day demands are what are used for charge development from the Great Lakes Water Authority. So once every 4 years, we have a contract team that comes out or talks to communities. This year is one of those 4-year cycles. We are about 20 to 25% through the 80-some communities that we will talk to this year. So the contract amendment that you have before you is really updating Exhibit 1 and Exhibit 2 in the contract. Exhibit 1 is just a map. It talks about who owns what and how that works. Exhibit 2 has the contract demands, the maximum day, peak hour, and the average day demands that are used for planning. I understand that our teams have met. The contract, our contract team and also your teams have met and have agreed to the demands that are in the exhibits. Certainly happy to answer any questions that you have of me.
Your Exhibit 1 and 2, is it Exhibit A and B in our packet?
Oh, excuse me, yes, I'm sorry. Exhibit A and B, Table 1 and 2 and B has those demands.
Got it. Thank you.
My apologies.
No, that's all right. I'm just clarifying.
So I have a bunch of questions later, but so our water usage, is it way up, a little bit up, expected up, or is it due to some of our development?
So I understand from our church development group that your water use is actually down.
Okay.
So that is, average day is down. Your max day and peak hour are also down, if you take a look on that exhibit. So I will say this, most of our customers' water use is down. So the way that, so we're a public body corporate. We are we're a governmental entity. We don't have profits. So when we split up the charges, your charges, just because your demands go down, if everyone else's go down more than yours, then you're not going to see the benefit that you might think. So I always qualify when people ask or communities ask about their water use, if it's going up or down, is that going to equate directly to a charge increase or a decrease? And it really depends on everybody, because everybody's demands are really going down. And this is a national trend that we see, that water use is declining.
So it's not
people are-
just our fact that we had no service for several weeks in the last year.
So let me, and I'm happy to answer lots of questions about that, but I want to be really specific about the contract. The contract itself uses data from the last 3 years. It doesn't use data from this year. But if you did have a water main break, or there was something that created an anomaly in your data, our team goes through that regularly and pulls that data out and doesn't use it in the development of these demands.
Interesting.
I had a question for the city manager. Going back through the data on Exhibit B, it really shows a tailing off of water usage. It was 2018 and 2019. I think that correlates when we switched over to WRC, right? And we got a lot of pretty much the underground leaks corrected.
That's a fair statement. We had an improvement. WRC stopped a lot of lost water. The folks who were doing it prior to WRC weren't. So we had water loss that we were not only losing the water, but we were
And
oftentimes.
we're on the sewer as well.
So we're paying for it to come in and go out for water loss. So WRC has improved our water loss rate. In other words, they've helped drop it based on their maintenance of our system and, instruction with Dan Ladd's instruction and guidance. We believe we've made improvements, but the issue for you on the contract will be the data that they're using in the last 3 years. So we're expecting probably a raise in some water rates. We don't want raises in water rates, but where are we, Chelsea, Ms. Pesta?
For GLEWA, our usage has gone down, but through WRC, we are going to see an increase through our water and sewer rates as of next year. WRC is going out for another building bond. They are looking to build a new building for their water system out in Pontiac. And we just received email that they are passing that down to the municipalities. So we are waiting for more figures on that part of the water and sewer. But this is specifically,
Yeah, this is, our rates, it won't be this lady's
yeah.
discussion. Or you could ask her questions about other things with GLEWA, but our rates are going to be charged by WRC
Correct.
and that issue. So they're two different things. They're related, but the questions about GLEWA are different than the questions you may have about WRC, and you'll be asking those definitely in budget time when we get in and talk about what we're going to have to pay and that kind of thing. You won't be inviting her back for that, probably.
Yeah, for the citizens that don't know, WRC is going to do this bond to have a $100 million building. What was the number?
140.
$140 million building, because they need to consolidate their 6 different departments. Is that what it was? Yeah. It's very strange.
Yeah, the tricky remarks made with the team was, well, this won't be from taxpayers' money, but it'll be on your water bill. Same thing.
Crazy. Okay, so I think we're off the topic of the water rates. Do you have anything else for us?
We do have a resolution for council to consider. We are recommending approval of Resolution 2026-08 for Amendment Number 6 to the GLEWA contract.
Okay, we'll do that after we finish what you've got to talk about, because we've had a lot of interesting occurrences. And I didn't make it. I think I had surgery and I couldn't see, and I didn't make it to the Novi event that you had right away. But they were taking some serious heat there. So the whole water main break, the 14-mile project management, give us some discussion.
Yeah, happy to do that. So I was at Novi. I was at the podium for an hour and a half, understandably. So I'm just going to say this. This is not the level of service your citizens deserve. It's not the level of service GLWA wants to provide. So I'll talk about it a bit, because I think it's really important for me to come right out and say, this pipe having failures, this 14-mile section of pipe, it's not something that we expected. It's not something that is in any way a reasonable level of service. It's just not, right? And we don't see it anywhere else. So let me talk to you about it, because I think it's important to understand what's happened, a little bit of the history. So I am the CEO, but I'm also a civil engineer. I came up through civil engineering, and I understand and know a lot of technical things. I also have with me Mr. Pete Fromm, who is our field services director, who is in charge of the construction project, him and his team. I have Jody Caldwell here with me too, is also an engineer and is our chief planning officer, who handles the program that inspects our water main. So we brought these people here expecting you were going to ask a lot of questions. And that's absolutely expected, reasonable, and I'm happy to be here for an hour and a half if you'd like me to be here as well, because I think you deserve answers. So the pipe has had repeated failures. Since 2017, we have had 4 failures. Your community gets disrupted when this pipe fails. The first time it failed, well, let me go back. The pipe is about 50 years old. The pipe should have a 100-year useful life. So it's at 50% of its useful life. So these are the types of things that we do. GLWA stood up 10 years ago, was born out of the city of Detroit's bankruptcy. So we got this pipe network. And one of the things we first started to do was, how old are the pipes? When have they been inspected? What do we need to do? How do we work on this? We have 800 miles of pipes. They're large diameter, just like you saw the 48-inch pipe that broke most recently, the 42 that broke that was on the west side that broke in September. We have pipes up to 10 foot in diameter, up to about 170 pounds per square inch. So large diameter, high pressure pipes. So I say many times, it's a little bit like the interstate system. We are like the interstate highway system, not the local roads. You all have the local pipes. It sounds like you have the Water Resources Commissioner's Office at Oakland County operating, maintaining your local pipes for you. So when our pipes fail, they fail in a big way. That's why you see all that water and all that disruption. So the pipe shouldn't have failed. Shouldn't have failed, right? According to statistics, we do have 16% of those 800 miles that are over their useful life. So we have pipes that are 100 years old. They're still in the ground, they're okay, but those are the ones when you start to take a look at What is the expectation of what can you do with the money you have to inspect pipes? You're going to those oldest pipes first, right? So we didn't expect this pipe to fail. So when it failed in 2017, we said, what is going on with this? And we instituted an inspection program first on this 14-mile main, saying what is happening with this pipe, and got into that pipe. We've inspected that pipe twice since that time. We were in the pipe that broke. The pipe's in like 20-foot sections. So, and you see this, you guys know all about this because you've seen it laid out, right, multiple times on 14 Mile Road. You probably saw it laid out when we did a big looping project on 275. So these big sections of pipe. The pipe that broke on March 7th was inspected 5 years ago with no defects. So when it broke, we're all saying, what is going on? We have consultants, we have national and international consultants who consult with us. With this big pipe that we have, and as disruptive as it is to communities when it breaks, we brought in the big guns, and we're doing, and I know it's gonna sound flat, but I just have to tell you, best management practices for this type of pipe we've been doing. So when it broke again, actually when it broke in September, I said, what is going on with this? We're saying this pipe is deteriorating faster than anyone expected. Broke again in March. What is happening? Clearly, best management practices aren't getting that. This is the reason why what you saw on 14 Mile Road and what you're still experiencing with the traffic disruption was we said, we're just going to replace a big section of this pipe. It shouldn't be breaking, but it is. And if our experts can't tell us why, then that gives us nothing to go from. So let's just put in new pipe. And that's what you see a lot happening on 14 Mile Road now. On the west side, right? On the east side, the area that broke, breaking in Farmington Hills, that east piece from M5 over to about Farmington Road is what we're really looking at next to say, what are we gonna do with it? Because we have had repeated failures. Now, since the time we started that inspection program, this multiple inspections on this pipe, we've renewed over 60 segments of pipe in that range. Gone in and done renewals of the pipe already. So we were inspecting frequently, renewing frequently, but we do have, like I said, even the national experts telling us, we don't know. We don't know why it happened. So we don't have confidence in that anymore. Was the inspection bad? Is that the problem? Or is the pipe deteriorating much faster? They're telling us it's the pipe deteriorating much faster. So that's where we are now with in terms of what are we going to do go forward. We don't want you to have another break. We don't want you to have any of these breaks, right? One break is could happen. 4 breaks shouldn't be happening, right? And we know that. So we've got our experts on it, we're working it, and we're likely gonna have to invest many, many, many millions of dollars in the pipe to get it where we need it to get you guys to a level of service that you deserve. So that's kind of the big picture story. Happy to answer any questions that you have about kind of where we are, where we've been on it.
One of the questions I get quite a bit from the neighbors and people going through 14 Mile, right? We put a new pipe in, why is it breaking? But can you just explain for everybody here, just, there's 2 pipes there, right? There's the main that broke, the larger one, and there's also the 22-inch, right? Can you kind of just go through the separation of both of those and just provide just a little detail on how we get our water through that system through 14 Mile?
So are you talking about perhaps a 24-inch pipe that we have?
Yes.
A 24-inch parallel pipe?
24, not 22.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure that we're talking about the same thing, because
Yes,
you all
sorry about
may
that.
have a pipe as well.
Yep.
There's probably a better person here to explain to you how that pipe network flows and the distinction between the 24 and the 42.
Yes.
Because they do run in parallel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Good evening, Council. Pete from Great Lakes Water Authority, Director of Water Transmission. Thank you for having us here this evening. So there's 2 transmission mains. One, as we refer to as the 42-inch transmission main, dates back to the 1970s when it was installed, and that's the current main that we are replacing now of approximately the 1 mile from west of M5 to just west of Novi Road. And then back in about 2020, we installed a new 24-inch main to run parallel with our 42-inch to give us redundancy out in this area. And from the break that occurred back in 2017, we made the decision of installing a 24-inch along 14 Mile as Phase 1 of the project, and then installing a 54-inch from 8 Mile up to 14 Mile to provide that redundancy. So to answer your question, Mr. Woods, is that 24-inch main provides us redundancy of, in the case that there is a break on the 42-inch, the 24-inch can provide average day demand to the communities out in this area. In the same sense as if down the road, if that 24-inch broke, the 42-inch would be able to do the same. Both mains provide service to the master meters that we refer to Walled Lake, also Commerce, Wixom, and Novi across 14 Mile as well. So it's a redundant main to be able to provide service to the communities out along 14 Mile.
And can you explain too why that redundancy didn't work during this last go around? I think that would be very helpful.
When the 48-inch broke on March the 7th. So on March the 7th, we had valves in certain positions as we were operating. And when the break occurred east of M5, which is east of our Haggerty booster station, the flow was being served to the break site. And until we could make operational changes inside our system out in the field and also at our Haggerty booster station, once we made those changes, then we were able to bring back the 24-inch into service to be able to serve the communities.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably go on for hours on what are we doing with structured problem solving? What's the 5 whys? Where do we get? Is it a material? Is it a process? Or is somebody pouring the wrong stuff into their yard in one of the neighborhoods? It's just bizarre that these things would go bad that quick. And I mean, I could go on for hours and try and find out where we're at with the problem solving. I mean, I did it for 33 years as an engineer. I know we said engineer like 3 or 4 times. So I thought it was important to throw that out. But also, when we look at what's happened on 14 Mile, it's sort of like the plan wasn't good. It's like we should have maybe got the intersection at 14 for all those businesses and the elderly home, right? It's like we should have got that done first and valved it all off and did what we needed to do with the other areas. And to me, I've been watching the project management there. It just doesn't seem right. And they've been running their trucks through our failing infrastructure on East Walled Lake Drive, right? So double tandem trucks with all kinds of dirt. It's not good. I'm surprised we haven't caved in one of the sewer systems. But it's like the project management seems to be not well thought through.
So so as the CEO, I'm going to start with, Pete's great. He's a very, very accomplished project manager and has good project managers working for him. And so I want to make sure that you understand that we think we do have the best and the brightest. But if there's specific questions about the sequence of construction or the traffic flows, that's absolutely a Pete question, and we're happy to answer questions about that, absolutely 100%. And we try really hard, and maybe we didn't try hard enough, or maybe we didn't do a good job of coordinating with you. But I think that we work hard to do that, so that if you see something that doesn't look right, that we're responsive to that.
I mean, to me, I just think we were thinking Novi's managing the project, and it's not really our problem, and we didn't really ask how long this was going to go on and what the sequence of events were. But that poor intersection, all those businesses in there got hammered, right? For how many weeks we've been going on with 14? How many weeks has this been since we started the project? Was it
Middle of January. So months, yes.
Yeah. I install entire 1 million square feet of body shops in much quicker time, but it's a bizarre scenario. We've got to take a look at that. And with each of the cities that are involved with the project as well, what do we do to not run into this? We're just blindsided. We didn't realize it was going to be that big of a deal. All right.
So I think the best thing to do is to make sure that we're plugged in and you're plugged into the planning.
Yeah.
Because the planning is where it's all at, right? The road commissioner for Oakland County has a big part in what it is that happens, how it happens, sequence of that type of road closures and that. We certainly are running the pipe project.
Yeah.
So those two things have to come together. And they're still coming together as we work to get the full restoration done.
Is that all coming together with the new building? Or are we still gonna have the water guys have the water pipes, the sewer guys, WRC's got the sewer pipes, we've got the Oakland County Road Commission wants to do whatever they want to do when they feel like it. And it's like, let me finish the thought process. We change the pipes, fix the pipe, then we come back and we want to fix the sewer, and then the guys want to do the road. Nothing's coordinated. And I see it everywhere. It's not just here, it's not just you, it's everywhere.
It is absolutely something infrastructure statewide that we need to do a better job of. We work hard to do that. We have 80 meetings, believe it or not. 80 meetings a year with our member partners, 80. That's a lot of meetings. So we try to coordinate, and we are really built on collaboration. Having come out of the City of Detroit's bankruptcy, stood up 10 years ago, you know, the promise was we're going to coordinate, we're going to collaborate, and we do. So if we're not doing it to your satisfaction, it's not because we don't want to. Somehow we've got to change the communication to get you into the conversation so that you can be there during the planning phase.
Yeah, it's just, I don't want to do your job, but the 3 different groups, 5 different groups, it's like they don't coordinate. And I'll tell you, like I said, we'll tear the road out, put a sewer pipe in, then tear the road out again in another year, or we'll shut down 696 for 2 years, and then open it back up, and then shut it down again for another 5 miles for 2 more years. It's just a bizarre scenario. And it seems silly we put the pipes back under the road instead of on the sides of the road, because you could have put it all in and then cut it over. We wouldn't have had, you just abandoned it in place, filled it with flowable fill. It's just very strange in my mind. We didn't, again, I would love to sit with the engineers and understand them.
We certainly can have a meeting anytime you want and have conversations.
Yeah, I don't want to bother you guys. You really need to just get us back to being civilians and having water to flush toilets, right? So, but I would love to read the biopsy of the patient, right?
Certainly happy to have meetings with you whenever you want to have meetings.
So, anything else?
I apologize
Go.
for trying to jump in
That's
for
okay.
a second. Can you give us an update just on where the project stands from the pipe standpoint, and then attending the Novi meeting, and also the meeting that you had over at the park in Novi, right, at the end of last year, where you kind of went in depth. One concern for me that I didn't quite get answers on was when the road work was going to be finished after the pipe was done. I don't think that team was there to help with that conversation, but if you could kind of go through those 2 things, that would really help for the audience.
Yeah, I think
and
Pete's the
myself.
best person to get you the details. Like, I could give you this month, that month, but go right ahead, Pete.
Yeah, thank you. So to give a update on the 42-inch project along 14 Mile is we started the installation of the pipe in the middle of January of this year, and we finished the installation of the 42-inch on April the 10th. And that was pretty much right about where we landed our schedule when we initially laid out this project. We're about a week behind schedule, finishing it on April the 10th due to the 48-inch water main. We had to take crews from the 42 over to the 48 to get that addressed, but we were able to get that complete. We are currently starting to work on returning the 42-inch to service. And what that means is we're filling the main back up with water, we are chlorinating it, and then we are running back T samples, water quality samples to clear it and start putting sections of that main back into service. Our goal is to have the entire 42-inch main back in service from west of M5 all the way up to Wixom's master meter by the end of this month, early May. At the same time, in parallel, we're starting to make the road restoration to be able to prepare to get paving going along 14 Mile. We're working with RCOC, and we are laying out the detailed schedule to be able to get that complete. Initially, when we rolled out this project during the urgent and emergency, we said that the road restoration would be complete by the end of June, early July of this year, and we are still on target to get that completed.
Thank you. I do have one more question, too. During that discussion as well at Novi, there was discussion about the pressure wave and the pump station, right? So has there been any additional information looking into that? I know you said that you would follow up because it was a concern with, having the generators on, switching between DTE and generation power for me, the pressure wave and how that affects pipes is important, right, for us in the future.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. So we call them transient waves. When it's just like water hammer in your home. It's the same thing. It's just a lot larger diameter pipes, a lot more pressure, and a lot more water. So when that water stops and there's a stop, that wave can come back and create a lot of problems for pipe. There's no doubt about that is damaging to pipes. No doubt about that. So we do have transient monitors. We are working through that, and we are lowering pressures in parts of the system to the extent that we can, and we're very cognizant of trying to keep that down. We do have issues when DTE has issues. When DTE power fails, if it fails at one of our facilities and we have pumps go down, it depends on how much water we're pumping at that time. It can create a pressure wave that can really come back through the system and create water main breaks. So that is part of our business. It's part of what we do, and it's absolutely something that we try to minimize.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You know what? Hey, when my cable goes out, my cable company lets me know and they text me the cable's out. We're going to get back up. And is there any way you guys could, well, I shouldn't really talk because our city website doesn't really do a whole lot of notification to people. But it's like, the government knows everybody in the city. How can we get the communication better? Because we were scrambling on the last one that went out. It was 4 a.m. I called the chief of police and he was sleeping, right? And then we didn't find it. We got an email, an automated email from GLWA, and it said, we think we've got a problem, right? But I knew because I couldn't flush my toilet. And it gets that way when you wake up at 4 a.m. every time to go to the bathroom. That's not when I wake up normally. We got to do something different on the communication path, right? I mean, everybody lets me know that I'm out of service, right? Except for this. And we've had so many problems recently. It's like we really need to, if you don't want to sign up for the text, don't sign up. But I don't want all the crazy communication, but I certainly want to know when I'm being affected, right?
So let me talk through that chain of communication, because that's always the way, right? We always want to try to do better than we did the last time, whatever that might be. And so I think that makes perfect sense, right? The more people know, the more information they have, the better armed they are, and the better they can make decisions for their household. So as the wholesaler, as soon as we have those issues, our systems, so we man 24/7. You guys probably know this, that we man our systems 24/7, and our people saw the pressure drop immediately as soon as it happened in our control room. They then begin to call the DPW directors around. So let me say it this way, sometimes communities have storage. They might not have the issue. The pressure drops. Maybe it's not that big of a break. In this case, it was a very large break, right? Lots of water all over the place. This is absolutely an issue. So systems control begins to talk to the operators immediately. And so what we do at all these 80 meetings that we have, we make sure that we've got people, and we do work with WRC if they're operating your system, and we have emergency communication through them that we say, how are you guys doing? Because it really depends on how your system's laid out as to whether or not you're going to have a big pressure problem. So there were 6 communities that were impacted by this. It happened in Farmington Hills, but Farmington Hills didn't experience it the same way you did, right? Neither did West Bloomfield Township. Wixom, Commerce, both had pressure fluctuations and but didn't experience it the way Walled Lake and Novi experienced it. So it depends on the systems, depends on the storage. So the first call is from our people in our control room to your DPW people saying, hey, we've got an issue here. How are you seeing the pressures? At the meters, we have pressure sensors. So pressure, water pressure is like your blood pressure, right? It's like the life of the system. How's the system doing? So that's our first call. When we do that, we're beginning to work the emergency to determine. A lot of times then we'll have conversations about what's happening. I got a text from Farmington Hills very, very early. This is what it looks like. There's water everywhere, right? When those kind of things happen, that's usually our pipe, not usually your pipe, just big high pressure pipes. So at that point in time, we're beginning to get people together for emergency operations. We work in an incident command structure. This is a structure that governmental entities work in to work together well. We call everyone in. We have emergency operations center meetings, and we begin to talk about what's happening. But the first call are operator to operator. So when we have information that we can give to communities to fan out to their residents, because we don't bill you, we don't have your contact information, for example, right? Not specifically. We bill the city, you all pick that up and you bill your customers. So we don't have communication channels directly with your customers. So we do serve like 3.8 million people. So with 115 communities drinking our water and our system over 8 counties, the way that we fan that communication out is directly through the municipality. And we say, you know, and we get our communications officer in that emergency operations center. There's a public information officer that's identified with that role. She's here today, actually. Michelle Stradowski is here, and she's in communication with the other people who are communicating, so that you can fan that communication out. That's what we found works best, because we couldn't keep a database accurate for that many people across 8 counties. So it comes through the local, you know, our customers, and then that communication out. So if we can improve upon that with you, if we can partner with you to improve upon that, we'd love to do that. I wouldn't expect that we're going to be able to keep the database for all of the 8 counties, that, you know, all those residents, because we don't even bill them, so we don't have names and contact information for all those folks. But happy to brainstorm about how we might do better to get that information out more directly.
Yeah, I mean, even it was Dan and Dennis, I think we were up to 11, 12, 1 o'clock, and it was still some of the other city, I think Novi had stuff on their website that made it look like we didn't have a problem. And then it was just mass community. And I understand it early on, but once we knew what the problem was, it just seems like there could have been one set of communication that
Mayor, let me
got everybody
touch
out.
on it a little bit. I'm city manager. I've been here before GLEWA existed. We're happy GLEWA has replaced the other entity. I'm not here to complain so much as we need to improve that part of communications. I got notified in the middle of the night by email. I don't check my email at 4 o'clock in the morning. I won't get into how we could have done that better, but even with that, when I got up in the morning, I did check it as 6 something, and we were up and running saying this is what we got. I think if you have a water break like that, and it's going to say, we need to find a way to notify certain platforms so other people can do it. You say you don't have a database, but I think somebody mentioned signing up. Facebook seems to be the way nowadays, you know, or the other entities, but signing up or getting it connected very quickly. We did on our website. Most people don't even want to go to the city's website or yours. They're looking through stuff on Facebook, you know.
It's got to be a push notification.
So we got to do it that way. I've only recently caved into all of that. We got it. Facebook is where it's at, so we need to do that. But we got up and running, and GLEWA did a good job.
Oh, yeah.
For us, and not because we didn't have water, but we did know, and we got the trucks in. The mayor and council were out here giving it up, taking it where it needed to go. So their performance was great. You know, we're not complaining about that, but there was an issue, and there still is an issue. The issue is the unanswered question of why it looks to our residents like Wall Lake operations are failing. None of that is ours. It looks like us. We have to be in denial mode, and we do that. Sometimes you get beat up. We don't want to do that. So we got to find a way to let the people know that all of that is GLEWA, WRC, maybe even Nova's got some pipes over there. I'm not sure what all's there. But they've been working on that for how many years? I mean, you said 4. The residents who go down there and who get blocked off, it looks like the same project. You know, we got big pieces of pipe sitting out for months and months outside. Maybe not your fault, but all of that connect. The residents think these folks failed somehow, or my shop, or our public works. So we're in a position to have to deal with that, and we need to improve that. The mayor and council do what they do what they need to do when they know, and so we try to keep them informed. So it's really about informing them better, and I think we got to find a platform where you say you don't have a database. I'm not sure you need a database.
Well, WRC does.
You need some way to get it out, whether it's us, but I'm not up in the middle of the night. We're a small community. We don't have 24-hour dispatch, so we're either going to use our whatever county dispatch we got to get that out, but we need to improve that. And we also need to let them know that their water's going to be off and there's going to be construction, and that probably comes from a website. So I think you guys did a great job in terms of what we did over here, because we got the water. They were here every day. You sent some teams down and worked directly with the mayor and council. So we're happy about that part, but we're not happy that we can't explain to the residents who don't know the difference between WRC, Glewa, Public Works, Novi's shop. What do we tell them?
Yeah,
best way
I
to do
agree
is-
with you. I think that idea of we can always improve communication and should be improving communication every time with a hot wash that we do after the event. That's a term that we use, that once the event's over, let's go back through everything, see what we can do to do better next time. What did we not do well? What do we need to do better? What did we do well? Let's make sure we're continuing to do that. I think it's a common, I've heard this before. So we had a 120-inch water main break in Port Huron a few years back, and we issued a boil water advisory for 1 million people. So GLWA's pipes are big. And when they break, they cause problems. And they cause a lot of people to have that same kind of communication. Macomb County said to us, I went to the county, their board of commissioners said the same thing. How do we notify our people faster? So we've got to figure out a way to collectively get together to get that out if we want to change the model we've been using, which is a fan out, that we fan out to you, you fan out to your residents. And we do have expert communicators. We have a small but mighty communications team that are very well experienced and have been through this lots of times. We haven't yet cracked the idea of how can we get to the residents faster. One of the big concerns that we have with it, I'll just tell you, the challenges, is in a community, say for example, not all of Novi had problems and not all 6 communities had problems, right? So Farmington Hills pressure was able to stay where it needed to be. So was West Bloomfield Townships, Commerce, West Bloomfield, Farmington Hills, and Wixom all were able to stay out of boil water advisory, which means the pressure didn't go down below 20 PSI. So one of the things we're really careful about at the beginning is we don't want to say something that's inaccurate, but we certainly can say there's an issue. If you're experiencing low water pressure, please contact this number, those types of things. But we can't take on and field all those calls either, because you're talking about, like I said, this 1 million people. So when we had to issue the boil water for the 1 million people, by the end of the day, we were able to reroute water so that we could get down to 300,000. But even so, that 300,000 across 4 counties, right, is challenging. So we'll work on it. Yeah. I hear you. I do think it's a good idea to continue to work on it, because I repeatedly hear, how can we communicate better? Even though we're doing our best and we've got really good people on it, I think we need different ideas about, if you want to have a text type of notification, you said a push notification, then we need to talk to your city team and say, how do we figure that out, if that's what you really would like. So we'll have conversations. We'll have more communication conversations too.
I mean, the county, WRC, they know everyone's phone number in case you don't pay your bill. They're up. Yeah, I'll let you know, right? And honestly, you guys, I didn't say it earlier because you never really celebrate your successes. But you guys did a really great job getting us back.
Oh, thank you.
Right? Really good job. But, I'm not going to say Amber Alert, but Amber Alert, they do text to everybody. I've had them really in funny situations all at the same time. Everybody's phone's going off. It's like you could do that. And it wouldn't have been a bad thing if you told too many people, but told them, hey, take your shower later in the day, reserve some water, until we know the extent of the problem. It wouldn't be bad to let other people know your neighbors are not going to have water if you decide to water your lawn today, or fill your swimming pool. Please don't fill your swimming pool today.
Understood.
Right?
Yes.
So I think there's a lot of opportunity there. And we were struggling. Everybody in the neighboring communities were struggling. There was bad information coming out. Could have been better. And that's, like I said, you never celebrate your success. You always attack your problems. And that was a big problem for us, I think. Right? And again, everybody's going, well, I know when I don't have Comcast, which that's not a business that I would want to replicate, right? They aren't that great of a service sometimes, but they let us know. They let everybody know. And they'll give you an estimate when it's coming back. Shit, we were on the phone calls, we were on the conference calls that you guys had. Nobody really knew, right? That was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We still didn't know. When are we going? Maybe we'll come back up later. It's interesting. Over communication is never a problem. I've never seen over communication become a problem. Sometimes, Dennis, you don't like to over communicate with us. I'm just kidding.
I have a question.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
woke you up.
Yeah.
I woke you up on this one.
So again, thank you for getting the trucks out here. It was great for our community. It was a great job. So I guess my concern is, you did the testing, you didn't see a problem, we had a break. Are you taking these segments now and analyzing them? Is something going to change in this testing process, or are we just hoping for the best from now on?
Yeah, so, people say hope's not a strategy, right? We're not
It's
just
not a
hope-
strategy.
We can't hope for the best.
Hope and pray.
So, I'm a public servant. It is my job to serve the public. And we don't want this to happen to you one more time, right? We're going to do everything we can to avoid it from happening again. But let me say this. So the pipes are taken out. They're taken out. They're sent to labs. There's a forensic analysis done on them so that we can understand what is happening. I don't think that this is something someone's putting down the pipes in any way that's making this happen. I think this is related to the pipe itself. The water comes from us. We know what's in that water. It's the same water that ran through all the other pipes, right? It's not the water inside the pipes. I do believe it's the pipe itself. That's where it's pointing to. So the question becomes, do we continue to inspect and renew? Well, that's what we've been doing, and it hasn't given us the level of service we desire, so we've got to do something different. And what we do that is different is going to be many tens of millions of dollars. So we have to really, it's not money that we had planned on 3 months ago, but it's money we're going to have to spend now. So we've got to figure out how to do it well. And because we don't have that profit piece, anything that we do goes into the expenses of the system. And so we're very careful about it. So we're formulating the plans now about what we're going to do. I think what you're going to see is some sort of a hybrid of replacement and monitoring. So this is what we did over on the west side. We replaced a length of pipe. Pete talked about the fact that we replaced like almost a mile of pipe. But then we also put in an acoustic fiber optic cable. You may have heard about that. To listen for wire breaks. This is what I would call a highly engineered pipe with multiple layers in it. And when it's in compression. It's a pre-stressed pipe that's in compression so that when we put the water in it, it's under a high amount of pressure. It's already pre-stressed. The wires that pre-stress it are what's breaking. There are a couple chemical reasons why it's breaking that we can see, but the rate of degradation is beyond anything that our experts have seen. So, but we can put monitoring in it so that that acoustic fiber optic cable can listen for wire breaks. So if you have a baseline inspection and you say it's good, that acoustic fiber optic cable that's in there as it listens has data loggers and sends information to us, and we can see, is it breaking? How fast are the wires breaking? Because there's a wire winding in there. So as we go forward, the solution needs to be different than what we've done. I think it's going to be a much larger scale replacement of the pipe on the east side there. How far we're going to do that, I don't know. How far it's going to be monitoring, I'm not sure. But there's no doubt we've got to do something different to get you the level of service that you deserve. Did that get you?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, okay.
I just wanted to know if something different's being
We
done.
have to do something
Right, so,
different.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Anybody else? You guys got anything else for us?
No, we live it. We could talk about it all day long,
Oh,
but,
yeah,
happy to answer whatever questions or have other meetings. I think we do need to get our communications people together to start to talk about if we really want to advance the communications in a manner in which you're talking about, we're going to have to think outside the box and think differently. So we'll have some follow-on meetings after this.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for
Sure.
the discussion. As a nerd, I would probably talk all night on this subject and see if we're sharing the same laboratories that I used for years. It'd be interesting. But I'd definitely like to communicate later.
Okay, we'll make sure that happens.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move to approve resolution amendment number 6 to the water service contract between Great Lakes Water Authority and the City of Walled Lake.
What's the second?
Roll call, Jennifer?
O'Rourke,
Yes.
Kinzing,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Arnold,
Yes.
Gunther.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
appreciate it.
coming.
Thank you
for
very
bringing
much.
your team.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
I'd like to have you come more often without a water main break and a contract that we have to sign. But
So
thank you for coming.
I heard that too. And we do have plans to do that. So happy to do that. Would much rather be here
Yeah.
talking about good things, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Scott,
Appreciate
thank you
it.
so much.
Okay. Very interesting, guys. Okay, audience members will be able to speak. We have 2 rules here. Audience participation. We pushed a second audience participation to later in the meeting. The first one is if it has anything to do with an agenda item. And then if it's just general discussion or something somebody wants that's different, we want that at the end because we've got a bunch of things we want to try and get accomplished. And we were doing audience participation until we were too tired to do the rest of the stuff we had to do for business. So I think it's a right way to do this. So if it's on the agenda, and I think probably a lot of people are here for something that's on the agenda, just that's what we're doing from now on. Audience participation.
Mr. Mayor, could we address my code of conduct issue of audience participation before we get into it?
Well, that's not a bad idea. Okay.
I'd like to propose a change to our code of conduct for audience participation. I believe the Constitution is pretty clear that people have the right to redress their government, and the government should listen. So I would like to propose that for the participants up here, for council and staff, that leave if you'd like, but do not respond verbally or in gesture to anyone speaking. And the penalty for that would either be, from a council standpoint, a censure, or from a staff point, termination with cause. I don't think we should open ourselves up to any legal proceedings because we speak back or talk back to people who are speaking. But I also don't think we should have to sit here and take just anything. If we don't like what's being said, we can get up and leave. So I'd like to make those changes.
We should make sure it's written in a way that that's an excusable.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
You go get 10 minutes to cool your head and go somewhere else. And I agree, to me, it's opening up, Van, I think you looked at this, it's opening up for some legality problems. And honestly, we're all big adults. If you don't like it, either ignore it or walk out. But we can't have, it'd be different if there was a bunch of prosecuted jail time for a person if we're going to accuse them of a criminal, right?
Yeah,
And if he's
someone
truly a
says-
criminal,
if someone says
different.
something that there's criminal liability to, that can be addressed later, right?
Right.
But and I agree. I don't think anybody here should sit through anything they don't feel like they
Right.
want to sit through.
Yeah, I understand your perspective, Danny, but we got to sometimes, I know it's hard for me too, I want to lash out sometimes at things. And we just got to be,
I just
a
don't want to
little
open
bit
the
more
city
careful.
up to any litigation.
I agree.
So I think it needs to be formalized, and I think the penalty should be formalized as well. So it's very, very clear of, if we do this, this is what happens. That's my opinion.
I just want to be clear. I mean, directionally, I think that sounds reasonable, but where do you draw the line? Because I recall in a couple meetings ago, one of our peers was challenged, and there's a very respectful, I don't agree with that, or that's untrue from my perspective. I think that's reasonable
Right.
discourse. So
For
is
sure.
that would be acceptable in what you're proposing, or is the idea that you be silent?
no, I don't think you write it like that, right? It's got to be,
No, I think we can address the issue if we want to, but just
No ad
in a
hominem.
cordially, in a cordial way. And I guess then that opens itself up to some gray area, but
Sure does.
I'd rather it not be gray. I mean, I have no problem with us responding back with an answer to a question. But yeah, I think we should just listen, in my opinion. And then it's very black and white. We listen, we don't say anything back.
yeah, I actually, Russ, I wrote up a few things that I wanted to give to Van and say, look, this is a framework of something we should do. Because I think it's important to have that. And if you looked at our ordinances and our charter, it talks more about the behaviors of the citizens that are at our meetings than it does about the people that work here. So I think we really have to fix that.
Yeah.
Most of the other cities, you look at what they've got, and they've got a code of ethics that it aligns with a bunch of other, like international business and city administration things. We got to have that, and I think it's important. So Van, I can give you some of my notes that I wrote down, but I think we really got to go there. So for next council, I think it's important enough that we do that, have some type of write-up, a resolution that's well thought out, what it addresses. And again, at the end of the day, you still have to have 4 reasonable people up here at council to vote for something like that, right?
And I completely agree. No one should sit through anything they don't feel comfortable sitting through in that part. So I completely agree with that.
Right.
That wouldn't be fair to force someone to sit through and listen to maybe lies. But I think as,
Well, we've had some interesting ones.
yes, yes, but I think as the government, we are tasked with listening to the residents.
Yeah.
And they are free to redress their government as they choose. So we give them 3 minutes, we should give them 3 minutes. That's my opinion.
Okay, so I agree with your motion to address it. You want to add on to give it to Van, let him
Yep.
come back at our
Yep.
next council meeting with addressing the issue?
Yep, thank you.
To be clear, I do have a question. So you're recommending that if there's something that's said that is untruth, that we should leave? Is that what you're trying to?
If you can't and desire not to sit through the audience participation, you're welcome to leave.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with the 3-minute rule in terms of somebody speaking, right?
Yeah.
If we're not going to the 3-minute rule and we're having 15 minutes, our emails are out there, right?
Yeah.
We're available all the time
Yep.
to come talk.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
there's the availability to reach out.
Yeah, I'm good with the 3-minute
yeah.
rule. Yeah, I'm good with the 3-minute rule.
If you're getting threats, right? There's something different there.
But again, that's something you could take up personally, legally, right?
Well, if you're getting a threat during a meeting, I think there's a legal issue there.
Correct.
Right? I mean, if somebody's getting a threat at their house, do they say, well, I'm going to wait till tomorrow to call the police? It's that portion
Right.
doesn't quite make sense for me.
Right. But and if it's unexcusable behavior by the citizen,
Yeah,
Right.
We have
and I
something
think
in
it's
there.
important to
Yeah.
be able to have a response. We did have somebody that came up and spoke, and I politely responded back. Somebody said that I have 65 houses. I only have one house in Walled Lake. So, I don't have 65 houses. I have one house with my family.
Yeah.
I would like to respond back to that.
Yeah, that's fine.
After the 3 minutes are over. If you're going to give 15 minutes for 3-minute discussion, right? I think that kind of takes that avenue, right? And it makes it foster. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Maybe, Ron, you can help us with this.
Yeah, I feel.
You understand the spirit of what
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to.
I do.
So
I'm
let's-
just trying to
let's-
understand it.
Yep, so
Yeah.
let's try to figure out the best way to word it. So I don't know what the best way to word it is.
And if somebody addresses this citizen who's talking for 2.5 minutes of their 3 minutes, they get more time.
No, I think they should get 3 minutes of uninterrupted.
Right.
And then after, if you wanna respond back
Yeah, or question some more
cordially,
information. Right.
yes. And accusatory,
Yeah, because some of the things that were said was character assassination on an individual, if you look at it that way, right? And that's not right. So,
you take a stab at it,
So
you have a clue what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I got the general gist of the issue and the concern. I'll take a look at it. The council obviously does have authority to adopt rules for rules of conduct for its meetings, and we do have those. So I'll take a look at it. To what extent everybody has First Amendment rights, not just those folks, but us too.
yeah.
So we don't want to run afoul of doing anything inappropriate to where maybe we're wrongfully retaliating against maybe somebody up here for exercising their First Amendment right. We don't want to go there either.
No.
Because that's potential litigation as well. It's a bit of a fine line to walk. So I'll take a look at it, and I'll give you hopefully have some better direction for you at the next meeting.
Yeah, I mean, like I've said to you a number of times, I'm not proud to cut and paste anything from anybody. If you look at the other cities, right, you go into Muni Code, look at other cities' ethics codes, it's very well defined and it's much cleaner than ours, right? Again, you look at our charter and look at our ordinances, it's more addressing the citizens' behavior at a council meeting.
Yeah, and I will also take a look at some rules of ethics as well, some ethical rules, and maybe come back. Maybe that'll help resolve the issue, or at least give us some type of some type of response to the problem. So I'll take a look at the ethics aspect of it as well, as far as just adopting, rules of ethical conduct.
Right.
So.
Okay, so you want to roll call on?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Mayor Pro Tem, did you have something you wish to say?
Thank you, Ms. Stewart. Well, first of all, I do want to commend Clerk Jennifer Stewart, because since this was brought up at, I believe, our first meeting, and we'd put forth the request to have 3-minute limitations as the rule suggests, she's been doing a great job of keeping on track with that and interrupting when the comments have been going over and above. I think she's done a great job. So that part of it, I think we're in line with. The other thing I did have my hand raised to, which appears as being addressed, is I did want to hear City Attorney Van's feedback on this and what his thoughts are, because I understand where Commissioner Arnold, Commissioner Woods are coming from, and I'm concerned about some of that, the issues they raised as well. But it sounds like that at this point is going to be addressed. So that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
Okay, so the motion on the table is just to have,
Yeah, to have city attorney provide some language on, I don't know, preventing a repeat of what happened last
Right.
meeting. So I guess that's all the best way I can explain it.
okay. Jen, you got it's really a directive, right?
Yep, I need a second. Are you making a motion?
Second, he made the motion.
Who's making, are you seconding?
Russ made the motion, I'll second.
You want a roll call or all in favor?
Yeah, roll call.
Do you have to have a motion by a council member? Let me right. We need another one by a council member, correct?
Mhm.
Yes. So you only have one motion.
And I need clarity on that motion, please.
I don't know what it is.
Move to have the city attorney draft code of conduct language for the council meeting for council members and staff during,
At all.
at all, yeah. And I guess to try to prevent what happened last meeting. So.
That's basically a directive, right? So we'll look at the language when Van gets a proposal together. So we haven't committed to anything right now, but.
Yes, I will. I'll have something for you for for your discussion and consideration at the next meeting. Maybe you'll be satisfied with it. Maybe we'll need to sort of narrow in a little bit more specifically once I give you my response.
Okay.
Who was the second?
I don't believe there was one.
There was not one.
I'll second. Arnold.
Any discussion or further discussion? Okay, Shinzing,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Arnold, O'Rourke,
Yes.
Gunther.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So that does that. Any audience participation? Jerry? Please come on up, state your name, make a statement. Keep it under 3 minutes. And don't yell at me.
Here, let me get my paperwork out of here. Necessary reading glasses, Paul. No, it's too hard to read. Okay, here we go. All right, Jerry Anderson, 127 South Pontiac Trail, a proud Walled Lake resident since 1978. Both my kids and grandkids have gone to Walled Lake Western, and we've made some progress, but and it's wonderful to hear that the road should open in July on 14 Mile. I think that's wonderful.
Wow.
But I'm pretty sure most of the people here tonight are the East Bay discussion. As I've never heard it described before as Can I speak to that? Is that an agenda item?
Looks like it is.
Okay, very good, very good. And again, I think that this issue has, I don't want to say the word pitted, but has created friction between citizens within our city. I am the president of the Lake Area Homeowners Association that represents people with riparian rights on Walled Lake and Shawwood Lake. We have members, at least one I know that lives in East Bay that is part of LAHA because they do have riparian rights. The one thing they do not have is motorized boats. And that is part of the 2002 PUD agreement between the city and the developer of East Bay. Pretty simple. Through a lot of negotiation, the city relented and gave up tremendous concessions as far as the height of the buildings, the density, the height elevations, the setbacks to their neighbors. The city bent over backwards to make this what the developer said was financially feasible. The only thing the city got out of it was the lack of motorized boats. The city never received money for infrastructure, any turn lanes to support all these hundreds of additional residents and cars. If you look at Leon, it's a death trap. That's a story for another day. We don't even have a sidewalk there. No money was ever provided out of that development to help support and be able to use the area without having, we now have tremendous backups on traffic. It goes on and on. I don't want to say it's all related to East Bay, but that is the biggest development ever started in the city of Walled Lake. And I don't think we've ever given those type of variances to any other project. Whether you like East Bay or not, it's there. It's settled history, which was in 2002. So the thought that this is even on today's agenda is am I done?
Jerry, you go another minute or so here if you've got something.
Okay, well,
specific.
just to try and wrap it up. For 25 years, it's like they're trying to create a solution to a non-problem. The bylaws of East Bay clearly state no motorized boats. And if a motorized boat was that important to you, there's hundreds of houses for sale in Walled Lake. There's hundreds of lakes in Oakland County. This 25 years later, we're still debating motorized boats at East Bay. This doesn't make no sense. So in 2016, somehow we got in front of the Planning Commission and the City Council, and on a 5-to-1 vote after extensive meetings and presentations, the Planning Commission voted down 5-to-1 their resolution. They denied it. The City Council also denied it in a 5-to-2 vote. Yet here we are 10 years later with the same issue. And I keep thinking, what has changed? What has changed that we're here tonight discussing this? The only thing I can think of that has changed is that the makeup of the City Council. There must be a belief that the current makeup of the council is sympathetic to East Bay. Why, I don't know. Maybe this is just my opinion, of course. I don't know how we've gotten here. And the thought that the PAD is working so well 25 years later, East Bay is still building and selling brand new condominiums. To this day, they have units towards the rear of the building, and there's no hardship. If you go back there, the real estate sign says a 2-bedroom condo at the back of the development, not the most prime area, starts at $300,000.
Wow.
I do not see the hardship. Again, this is a mystery
Jerry,
how we're here again.
Could you wrap up because we're trying to stick to those few minutes.
I could go on, but I hopefully
I could talk for hours on this subject. Right?
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Any other audience participation?
Step up to the podium.
Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Kelly Adams. I live at 100 East Bay Drive. So I am a co-owner in East Bay Village. A few of us are here tonight to ask the council to table the discussion to amend our PUD regarding the motorized boat docking. Our community needs to take a pause to ensure transparency and to evaluate the heavy impacts of this proposal. The issues we have, we're asking to delay this based on 4 critical concerns. One is legal validity. The board is acting upon an 11-year vote that was never, to our knowledge, finalized. This may not reflect the current will of our 248 co-owners. Our community has turned over quite a bit in the last 11 years, and a new vote should be taken with our current community. We feel that there's a disproportionate loss. The prior drafted plan sacrifices 2/3 of our shared waterfront, our community's best asset that we have, to benefit only 12 boat slips. There's also safety and environment. We have seen no plans for swimmer safety, pollution control. There's a concern that the water depth is insufficient for safe boating maneuvering. We have financial unknowns. There's a lack of clarity in what the insurance costs, accident and damage liability would happen if there wasn't something that would happen, strain on our parking, and who is ultimately paying for the construction and maintenance of our boat dock and slips. In closing, we're simply requesting the deferment until formal committee can get together to get concrete answers. We want to protect our community areas for our entire community, not just for a small minority. So please give us a time to review the economic and physical impacts before making a permanent change to our neighborhood. We thank you. I have a copy of a letter summarizing all of this for you if you would like it.
Please.
Thank you, Ms. Adams. Thank you.
Thank you. Write her name at the top of that, on that letter, so I know.
Hello, my name is Scott Toth from 455 Sparks Lane. I'm going to apologize, I'm a really terrible public speaker and a bit nervous. So, a lot of discussions about East Bay getting a dock going in here, but I think they're looking too far east and not far enough west. And I have some documentation for you all. This is from the stormwater drainage area H updates that were supposed to occur back in June and August of 2018.
Hey, excuse me, Mr. Toth, if you could pass those out and go back to the microphone, because I really want to hear what you're saying. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I really do want to. I care about what you're saying.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'll get you one.
We'll get it to
I'll get him to him. I'll get him. Yeah. Oh, you need
Thank
it?
you.
This goes back to 2018 and regarding their detention pond in the west side of their apartment complex area or condo area. And there are basically a couple culverts over there that are supposed to have backflow prevention methods installed there, basically check valves. These were outlined by Boss Engineering to be installed as part of the drainage area H updates, and it's just simply never happened. What does happen is their detention pond fills up after any major rain, regardless of volume really. And once it hits a certain point, all that water comes straight up and goes onto my property. It creates a mess. The water's dirty because it's parking lot runoff, kills the vegetation, brings mosquitoes, bugs, and other pests. It's causing major erosion. And, you know, frankly, I got 3 kids that try to run around in my backyard all the time. It's impossible to keep them out of that, and it's a disgusting mess. So it goes back to maintenance. Have they been properly maintaining that detention pond? Has it been being dredged like it should be? I talk about bending over backwards, right? To get that development, I guess, built. There are so many ways that the water drainage was planned to happen back there that just isn't physically impossible. So if that detention pond does overflow and fills up into my lot, there is no place for that water to go. It is completely blocked along the fence line crossed by the Tri-A neighborhood. There's just no physical path for the water to go. It sits there until it dries up or it gets pumped out. And that's on me to do that. Now, if we can't expect them to properly maintain what property they currently have, how can we expect them to treat the lake any better?
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
Hey, Scott, which street are you?
He's Sparks.
Sparks.
Lane.
Okay.
If you go to the back.
Oh, yeah,
page
got
of
it.
this, I'm the
Got it.
Last house
Right
on there.
actually across from where the fire was.
Right.
Yeah, right. where-
Yeah. Got it.
And I did send all the new members of council some previous email communications I've had with the city outlining that this work has not been done. I get it. It was supposed to happen in 2018, 2019, right? You guys were up to your ears in medical marijuana licensing junk. And then we had
Yeah.
the pandemic, right? So, you know, we shut down the whole world for a couple months, right? I get
Hey,
it. Like,
14 miles been a problem ever
yeah,
since.
14 mile. You guys got a bunch of stuff going on. I can't expect
Yes, got
you
got
know,
it.
all that. But
Got it. Understand. And I thought we had the water back of that place stopping that from occurring.
Is
Okay.
it you?
Yeah. When were the pictures from, Scott? Scott, Are the photos of the water, is that recent?
I'm
Okay.
sorry, you have to speak into the microphone, I'm so sorry, council
Okay.
members online can't hear, please, thank you.
These are actually from 2019, 2020, I believe, or well, that's at least the budget. But honestly, the story's the same regardless of the
Yeah.
year. I have photos going back all the way to 2016.
Yeah,
and
when
it's
the
every
construction
single
happened. Yeah, I
year.
got it. I thought there was something that happened between there and, but you've got
Oh, I
photos
mean,
that
it
are
just, like,
the same?
Just this recent storm that happened last week completely flooded out the yard. My wife has some recent pictures. We didn't have time to print it off. We just found out about this late
Yeah,
yesterday evening.
I'd like to see them.
I mean,
Because I
it's
thought we had
honestly-
addressed that at some point. East Bay had tried to address that. Maybe somebody from East Bay would explain.
It's the same.
Okay.
It's the same pictures.
Okay, great. Thanks, Scott. Anybody else?
My name is Chris Tamer. I live at 435 Decker, and I have been a Walled Lake resident since 1991. Scott, thank you. I wish I would have went ahead of you, though. I need to back up a little bit. We moved here in 91, and at the time, the deed to my property states that I have lake access. My lake access is at Leon Road. And I'm concerned, now it's been quite a few years, I've never used it. What I'm noticing is an abundance of boats on the lake. I guess my question is, how many boats can a resident have on the water? Now, for those of you who actually live on the water, if you have a pontoon boat and a fishing boat and a wave runner, it's not my concern. My concern is if you're a member of a subdivision that has a lake access, how many boats can you have on the lake? This is not just a Walled Lake problem. It's a Novi problem as well. I contacted the city of Novi last spring, and they agreed that it is a problem. And if it's not a problem for everybody yet, it probably will be overcrowding. I don't know who enforces boats that are on the lake that should not be there. It's just something to think about. Excuse me. I don't want to lose my lake access because I haven't used it. Because if I go to put a boat out there, now there's no room because it's been given to somebody else. Just something to think about. So I think you should visit that before you even consider extending any more boats onto the water. There are boats there that probably don't belong, and I guess my question is, who enforces that? Is that a DNR issue? Code enforcement?
Can we?
Yeah. Yeah,
I can't hear.
Yeah, I can't hear anything if everybody
So
talks.
hold on, folks. I'm hearing it's code enforcement that enforces the boats on the lake. How often do they look into that?
To answer your question, Chris, not enough. not enough.
Okay.
And I think it's something that towards the end of this meeting, we will bring up in discussion that that is something that should be done. It's something that hasn't been done. In the past couple of years, it has gotten a little relaxed, and I
Well,
think it is.
I have to point my finger at city council only because, not necessarily the people that are here now, but we had somebody that was code enforcement, and he was treated very rudely, in my opinion, because he was trying to write residents fines for letting their property go and not keeping up on it. And what I heard here in the meeting was, we're not in the business of writing our residents fines. Well, so anyways, he moved on. And I've noticed what Walled Lake has done is they have brought in a police officer to do code enforcement. And I think that's pretty crappy because he deserves better. I think that you need to look at this from a bigger standpoint, because it's not just a problem in Walled Lake, it's a problem in Novi as well. And that pond out there, it's just gonna get smaller and smaller. And somebody needs to be monitoring the boats on the water and how many boats can you have per address? I mean, that's, to me, that's a pretty honest question.
Yeah.
Are there boats on the water that don't belong there? And how are they getting there?
Yeah. Okay, can we wrap up your discussion? We'll go on to
Thank you.
somebody
Thank
else.
you.
If
Thank you.
you guys want to continue to talk, we can go till like 11:30. Someone else.
Good evening. My name is Diana Sabo. I live at East Bay Village, and I am a member of the Board of Directors. I am very concerned about the lack of acknowledgement of riparian rights. We have 250 or so condos. We are asking for 12 boat slips. It has been years that we have had, I think it was over 90% of the residents said, yes, we want boat slips. Now, I don't know how many of the 259 households have boats on the lake, but I'm betting it's more than 12. We would just like to have the riparian rights. It was my understanding that when the owner made an agreement with Walled Lake, the question of riparian rights wasn't even acknowledged. We are the only condo association on the lake that does not have boat slips. And I think that's sad, especially considering that there are boats all over the lake from non-residents, just like he was stating. But all we want is the riparian rights, 12 boat slips. That's it. No, we're 15? I'll go for 15. 15? Anyway. Thanks, Mary Beth. No, we are approved by the, what's the organization? The EP?
Eagle. DEQ.
DEQ.
Yeah.
DEQ for 15. So 15 it is. But I have not spoken to very many people at our condo unit that wouldn't love to have them. And I think there's probably more than that many boats out on the water already. So let's just make it legit, legal, and do it right. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you. One more, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Sylvia Toth, and I also live on 455 Sparks Lane. My husband and I moved in to Walled Lake in 2015, I'm sorry, and we have very much so enjoyed being part of this community. We've been to many city council meetings, and most of them have had something to do with East Bay. Again, I'm not going to repeat what everybody was talking about. The gentleman earlier made an excellent point that back in 2002, the PUD for East Bay clearly stated, hey, you will not be allowed to have motorized boats on the lake. As we were discussing, a lot of things were not done properly while the building of the complex. There were certain shortcuts that were taken. It is what it is, you know, that's in the past. You know, can't sit and dwell on it. All that said, again, during the many city council meetings that we have attended, we've discussed drainage area age multiple times. There's many promises of what changes are going to be made, so not just our house, but a dozen houses that you see in those packets that Scott distributed earlier, and much more houses that are not in those photos get impacted on regular basis, whether that's spring, fall, sometimes in the summer. I mean, you guys live here, you see the amount of water that we get. And I promise I'm happy to send recent pictures, including as of 2 days ago when our yard was completely unwalkable. So anyway, so I think it's only fair to ask, since East Bay was allowed to build on those $300,000 units, new units, just last year, but they didn't live up to their promises of addressing the backflow preventers that are actually on our property, and I can physically see it dumping water into our property and impacting our yard. We're not sure if, again, the sediments have been cleaned from the bottom of the basin. There's things that East Bay needs to do to actually show like good faith. Hey, we promised something several years ago, or whatever many years ago, and make that happen. And you were talking about you want to have the right to have boats on the lake. I think it's very reasonable for me to ask as a citizen, as a person, as a parent, that what I want is not for my husband to have to lift everything off our shed a foot every single winter, because we're terrified that my kids' bikes are going to be rusted again, our riding lawnmower is going to be rusted again because our shed gets flooded on our property. That I don't have to tell my kids, hey guys, you can't go out in the yard for the next week because it's flooded, and if you go out, we'll get over your ankles. We have 3 little people. And most importantly, I don't want to have a fear that our house is going to be flooded. And that has happened. Our neighbor's house has been flooded, and I have seen the water seeping through their floors. And it's frustrating to be fighting that battle for pretty much ever since we have lived here, to know, hey, can we protect what we spent a lot of money on? And it was a reasonable expectation to ask somebody to put a backflow preventer. And at the same time, you guys are asking for both. I'm sorry, but it's only fair. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr.
Thank you. Go ahead, one more? 2 more?
Hi, my name is Mark Lampinen. I'm the original resident of East Bay Village. It's been my pleasure to be a member of Walled Lake community. It's a fantastic city. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council, everybody that's here. Many of you I know, many of you are our friends. At the end of the day, we're asking that 0.5% of the residents of East Bay be allowed to have a boat on the water. It's not like there's going to be a great influx of all these boats speeding around. As far as the water situation, I sympathize with the neighbors. Certainly, something was approved with the design, the plan of our community. It wouldn't have been built that way. And if there's something that needs to be corrected, I fully stand with you that we should be looking at that. But it shouldn't stand in the way of us getting at least a few boat slips. It'll increase our property value, therefore your tax base, higher taxes. We're a huge tax-paying community. I think we deserve having a limited number of slips allocated. Like I said, you're talking 0.5% of our community, and I think we deserve that. I've been waiting 26 years for this moment, and I've been pushing the can down the road, kicking the can down the road. This agreement from 2002 between the builder and the city was a secret agreement. I'm the original purchaser, and none of this was ever mentioned to me. So you talk about the values of our place. Great. Our values really have been very stable. They haven't gone up. But having some lake access would help our values increase, and future sales be higher and tax bases be higher for the city. I think it's good for everybody involved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Hello, my name is Tina Miller. I live at 1957 Westlake Drive. I happen to be a riparian representative on the Lake Improvement Board. I'm also the chairperson of the Walled Lake Improvement Board of Novi, that's correct. And that is to say, I am here to say that I have attended the previous meetings where they've presented a wish to have slips, mooring rights, and I was aware of the agreement of the developer and the city of Walled Lake that said, no, you won't have that. And so they do have their dock there, but it's for non-boating purposes. I believe this will be in their disclosures when they purchase their condominiums. Then I would go on to say that I have documentation of boat capacity for lakes, and it's around our area, not just other states, but we have some in Michigan, and I have some literature I could share with you that speak about the impact of boats toward lake quality and safety. And so I would just leave it with the facts that say it was an agreement, not willing to rescind that, and that it impacts water quality.
Thank you, Ms. Miller.
Thank you.
Hi, Council. I'll make it quick for you. I'm Shannon. I live in Shoreline Condos, which is a condo association off Pontiac Trail. And I'm here, like a lot of people in this room, to let you guys know that we do not want the boat docks at East Bay. Two main reasons. One, it's already very, very, very crowded. There's the huge Leon dock in that area, and adding another 12 boats in that area I don't think is safe for people in that area. And the traffic in that area is already bad, and it will definitely only become worse on the roadside as well as the boat side. And I think any boaters, it's just not a good idea in that regard. Also, I am not on the board of Shoreline, but there are alternative solutions, as everyone stated previously, that all 248 people that bought into these condos were well aware that boat docks did not come with them. It was explicitly clear in the deed. For example, when I bought my condo at Shoreline 6 years ago, I explicitly asked, will I get a boat dock? And the answer was yes. And the good news is there are... Oh, hi, Lena. Yes, we remember that conversation. She made it explicitly clear to me, like, yes, but you do have an opportunity to be to get a boat, not just look at the pretty lake. That is the reason I bought in Shoreline, not in East Bay. And the good news, I'm not on the board of Shoreline, but there are condos available, and we do have one open boat slip. So like, we have an immediate solution for the 12 people that are going to get these boat slips out of the 248 living in East Bay. And that's all I have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shannon.
That was brilliant.
I'm Nate Marco, 115 Arvita, Walled Lake. I'm actually really disappointed I'm here tonight. This is kind of a waste of our time. This has all been gone over before, 2015, 2018, and 2002. I'm not also too happy about this red herring argument about, hey, people are breaking the ordinances already, so we should just be able to change our rules. That doesn't float. If I want to go 100 down East Lake Drive because I want to break that ordinance, you guys gonna let me start doing that? I don't think so, okay? If you go back and do your due diligence, and I know I've already asked a bunch of you to do that, you will see what already has been stated, you see where their contracts lie and what is there. It is not changeable. And let's stop using this other red herring that they're using about the Eagle thing. Eagle didn't say they could get 44 boats or 25 boats or 15 boats out there. They said there would be a minimal impact at the time of the study to add 15. At the time of the study, which was a long time ago, to add 15 boats to the lake of all of Walled Lake. We have well surpassed that by that time. We all know this. And I mean, that's it. I'm done with it because it's just annoying. I mean, it's annoying we're here for this. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. Okay.
My name is Mark Adams, and I live at 1721 East Lake Drive, and I am a Novi resident. I just want to make that a record. You know, I'm here to oppose, you know, boat slips at East Bay. And part of it is, you know, here's my notes. Don't let the genie out of the bottle, okay? If you approve 12 boat slips, there's few things in life that are guaranteed. I guarantee that's not the end of it. 12 will be 20, 20 will be 30, 30 will be 60. And when you deny 60, you're going to open yourself up to a lawsuit, likely. You know, Walled Lake is a gem. Speaking historically, it goes back more than 250 years. You know, this is just off the cuff, but in 1820, if you look at the census data, Oakland County had, what was it, 300 and some people. There were 500 Native Americans living at Walled Lake because it was the spot. It's a gem. Don't screw it up. You know, I've been on Cass Lake, which is totally overcrowded. Chaos. It's out of control. You know, Union Lake, not so bad, but when the DNR lot was full, bumper to bumper traffic. If you put boats at East Bay, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, you're opening it up to all these other developments. Oh, well, we want more boats. Pretty soon, Walled Lake is going to be Cass Lake. So don't let the genie out of the bottle. That's all I got.
Thank you.
My name is Mark Miller. I live also at 1957 West Lake Drive. My wife just spoke earlier, but I feel compelled to address this Eagle comment. There were two state of Michigan Supreme Court rulings that gave specific jurisdiction for boat docking ordinances and usage and zoning power to the local community, in this case, Walled Lake. So that was in 1991 and in 1992. So Eagle does not control how many boats are on a lake or who can have boats on a lake. It's the local government, according to the Supreme Court of Michigan. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
Hey, well, if anybody else wants to speak about it, we're going to probably just table this as requested, right? And if you want to submit emails or writings or to express your point of view, I think otherwise we'll be going for another hour on just this topic.
I would disagree. I think the residents have something to say. I think we should give them that opportunity.
I have a quick one, I promise. Marilyn Boylan, 761 Walled Lake Drive. We purchased our lot because Walled Lake was supposed to be the largest lake in Oakland County that didn't have public access. That was a drawing card for us. I would highly encourage you to go back to the sticker that we used to have on the boats. And I think that was sort of done away with, I don't know, 4 years ago, something like that. Do you remember that?
I just actually said, I just got one. The one on my dock.
But nothing was checked, I don't think, in 4 years or so because, you know, people are renting docks and everything. I did a quick research on this just before the meeting, and what they're saying is that 10 acres per boat. Walled Lake is 670 acres, which means we should have 67 boats on our lake. So adding more boats, not really a safe thing. And someone brought up Cass Lake. I can remember people having a lot of accidents on Cass Lake, and we don't want that. So that's it.
Thank you. Anything really valid that somebody'd like to speak on the topic, or? Go ahead.
My name is James Gross. I live on 1316 Leon Road. I'd just like to say thank the police for writing tickets.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much, Chief.
Bob Dar, 148 Arvita. Apparently, I've become one of the old timers. I've been here for almost 40 years. It's hard to believe. Most of the faces up here have changed. Van, I know you were here in 2002. I'm not sure about the city manager. I believe you were instrumental in the writing of the guidelines, PUD, whatever, if nothing else because of your legal opinion regarding them having riparian rights. And if I'm not mistaken, it was based on a survey done back then. I don't want to say DNR or whoever did it. I believe there was 795 boats on the lake at that time. Wow. Now, that's not counting the rowboats on shore. That's not counting the kayaks. That's counting the boats in the water on the lake. I'd be curious to know what it is today, or July or August, not today. Because I'm sure somewhere the DNR or whoever puts out a guideline on density. How many boats per acre of water? That might be a deciding factor right there, whether or not they're entitled to the riparian rights. But that being said, it's in their agreement when they purchase. It's in the deed. I'm sure just like my deed says I have rights, theirs says they doesn't. I think that's the end of the story.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Bob. One more?
I'll keep it short. I'm also at 1316 Leon Road. I was born and raised here. I went to all the Walled Lake schools.
What's your name?
Back to his point, it was in the bylaws. I bought a condo. I've lived in one. I now have a home. Actually, there's something coming up next week for pole barn sizes to be larger than your home on Leon Road. Well, I bought my house. I know what the laws are. I know what the requirements are. They're going for a variance. I have a friend that lives in East Bay. I understand all y'all wanting on the water. But when you buy a condo, you get the rules. The rules are no boats. Safety, huge issue. Scott and Sylvia with all the water issues, big deal for them. East Bay is not holding up. That was 2000, how many, 6 years they've been dealing with that shit? That's ridiculous. And now, I mean, it's time to, you can't let this go through. Leon Road is crazy with traffic. I've saw dogs get hit. We don't have sidewalks. It seems like East Bay came in. Don't give them any more. Walled Lake is supposed to be a small little town. Like he said too, you give them 12, it'll be 24, it'll be 46. The lake's not gonna handle it. I think moving forward, definitely go to the DNR, how many boats per acre, get some more stats on it, and readdress it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else? If you really want,
I know, but I got one more answer for the gentleman when he was talking about the docks and actually how many boats you can have. That's regulated through DNR. They tell you how far from shore you can build your dock until you start getting into the waterways. So I think it's somewhere around 150 or 60 feet. So from that to the shore, that's why you only get 22 boat slips, because that's all the room you have. And when you have a community that has 40 houses now or whatever, everybody's not going to have a boat slip because you can't split a lot and now have 2 boat slips. So over a period of years, that's what's happened, and that's why we are. But so far, it hasn't been a problem. And if anybody wants that lives on Leon or Decker or Arvita or Sparks, they can talk to Gary.
thank you. Look, I encourage you guys to, please, if you've got something that you want to know that we got an opinion on from you, please send us an email, right? I mean, we could go on back and forth on everything, but if there's something really strategically important on the topic, please send us an email, right? Send something to Jennifer, she'll get it to us, doesn't matter. but I don't want to cut everybody off. We are going to actually, why don't we vote on the motion to table, which I think is what's on the, at least that's what Kelly said, right? Is that what the motion was? East Bay Village amended plan unit development to permit motorized watercraft mooring, and you're recommending we table or? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. Yeah, I don't think it really matters. They can keep coming back and asking for whatever they want forever, right? It's their right. Yeah.
Mayor,
So what do you guys want to do?
It's up to you since it's a discussion point. It's not a line item on new business, unfinished business. I think
It's a new business. Right.
Have we closed? We haven't closed audience.
Yeah, if you want to, quickly, 2-3 minutes.
I'm not even gonna do that. It's about tabling. We took that vote. I'm Mary Beth. I'm on the board. I'm the reason we're here tonight. I've been doing this since 2014. Okay, so I'm part of the board. Diana's part of the board. We have a quorum to move forward. I have a email from our attorney, Ben Henry, who's been our attorney forever. And he's the one who facilitated this vote that we had to move forward to get 2/3 vote because the city council asked us to get a city council vote of 2/3 vote to get the boat slips. He's the one who facilitated that. This is a 4/20/26 email from him because we had these are my very dear friends. I go to dinner with them, vacation with them. I agree to disagree. But this was his email when they complained that they would like to not have this happen at East Bay. He said, in addition to the vote certification, the attached memo contains a copy of the voting packet, which he recorded. And by the way, if you have 4 more votes to 19, you're only at 23 versus 190. So we are therefore comfortable taking the position that the age of the unrecorded amendment that sits with us that's already filed and notarized is fine. So our attorney says, continue to move forward. We don't have to vote again. We're done. It's filed, it's notarized. We recorded it with us. We can't record it to the city at the master deed level until it's approved through the master deed. And I have things to talk about that, but we're not going to do that tonight. But our attorney says not to table it. It's done. So.
I'm sorry, this is under, I'm sorry, I'd just like to reclaim my last 30 seconds. This is under discussion, that's what it's opened up at. I think we can just close the discussion on it.
Grab the
I think we can
microphone,
just, I'm sorry, Nate, 115 Arvita, Marco, yeah. I got about 30 seconds left. This is under discussion. This isn't like a motion that we're trying to vote up or down. I think we can just end the discussion. That's it. The discussion's over. Thank you.
I mean, I'd like to discuss because I have some questions.
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of.
I've got a lot of.
How did it start? What did it happen? Van, do we have the? Because
I haven't been around that long. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
So.
I would love to see the covenant language because I've never found it. I guess I could have bought it from the Secretary of State, right? Go into Super Index and pull it down and pay for it, but I'm sure we have it.
Maybe we close the.
You're talking about the PUD condition that
The
says
PUD and the covenant that was written
says
for
they
it.
can't have motorized boats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the conditions of the PUD approval is that there would be no motorized boats at East Bay, and it was a further condition of the PUD approval that requirement be carried over into the condominium documents, that being the master deed and the bylaws, which
Right.
was done, so that the people purchasing the units would have that notice through the condominium dockets or documents that that there was that restriction there. It's not a new issue. This is something that has come up a number of times over the years. It's been about, I don't know, 8 or 9, maybe 10 years since last time it came up. But, it's a policy decision for city council as to whether or not to continue the current conditions and regulations, or whether to, consider a change in the current regulations. And there is a process for doing that if the council was so inclined. But under the current conditions and regulations, they are not allowed to have motorized watercraft at their waterfront.
Yeah. Again, I think from Russ, your perspective, I've got the same thing. I don't know how we got here, right? They gave it away to get the density.
Is that what it was? So again, I wasn't around.
The height of the building, the density, the setbacks.
Was
was one of the
original public comment. We can just discuss.
Yeah. I think public comment's closed.
Okay.
We're going to discuss it.
So yeah, so I guess so in 2002.
2015, it was actually on the planning commission's notes.
Did we ask for that concession? Is that what the council did, to say, okay, we'll give you this, this, and this, but for that,
it was
we're
for
going to
that.
ask for this?
Correct.
And
Correct.
I guess my question, again, I wasn't around. Why would that be the one we asked for? I mean, could have gotten sidewalks
there
on
was-
Leon. We could have gotten
there
a lot
was
of things.
more to it than.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to figure
More
out.
to it than just no motorized boats.
Okay, thank
was,
you.
It was a very large project.
Okay, yeah, help
There
me.
were
Just help
lots
me
and
with
lots of different issues that were discussed, and went back and forth on, and agreements were ultimately reached. But one of the conditions of the PUD approval was that they would not be allowed to have motorized watercraft at the waterfront there, and that requirement had to be carried over into the condominium documents.
It seems like that's the longest standing issue that we've been dealing with.
Oh, no, there was also the water. There was also
Well, no, I'm going to get to the water, because I guess my question on the water is, did we engineer it wrong?
I think the best way for you folks to proceed is we can provide you with all the documents that you want. We have those. It's included, the language that's important is included in the master deed, and that would be the final step. The attorney can tell you whether you have the authority to make the adjustment. Certainly you have the duty to look it over because they're here. So we can provide you with all of that documentation and the history of it. I was not here when that occurred. I don't think the city attorney was not here. He might have been prosecuting, but he wasn't here in 2002. He started in 2006 as city attorney. So whatever preceded that, I'm not sure you'd have been involved except through the firm if they were.
Again, it was 2015.
I wasn't
I think.
actively involved in the actual East Bay PUD process. I was, like you said, I was doing the district court prosecutions, so I wasn't. I didn't have a huge role in the East Bay PUD. But
The city attorney at the time is now he's now the village administrator over in Wolverine Lake. I believe, I don't know that he participated directly in it, but, well, he left here and went to be a lawyer somewhere else, become a city manager. Now he's over there. But we do have the instruments, and that's really what you're going to be traveling on. You're going to, you may not ever know the intent of anybody, and that'll be tough to, but you'll be able to look at the language and make decisions you need to make, and we'll provide you that. I think, can somebody over there have Jennifer, we have that whole packet. Can we get it digitized so we send it out by, and we'll make hard copies for anybody who wants it. That's the starting spot for now.
Can we go back
It
to
sounds
the
like
water?
we're gonna table that whole.
Yeah, that's fine. Can we go back to the water issue, though? Is this an engineering issue? Is it, how are we getting properties like this? How is this happening? Is it?
I believe it's deferred maintenance. They aren't cleaning the system as promised. I could be wrong.
I'd like to comment on that, because I am on the board, and I thought that was taken care of. You guys had talked to me instead of, did they leave? They left?
Yeah.
Because we didn't know that.
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
We felt compelled to do that and fix that. We have put backflow
drains back there. If any of you have been here, you recall, we went under the road at the creek. So it went from the water in the back, under the creek, through the second pond and out to the lake. We thought we corrected that. So had they contacted us instead of somebody else, might be a different outcome. They did purchase their house knowing that it was underwater quite a bit. I think they did. I remember. I looked at it. I don't know. It was, the back was underwater.
That's not how engineering grading works.
Yeah, yeah, Mary, but I know I know the neighboring, the Tri-A neighborhood has had water problems.
Right. But they were very close to the situation right by our pond. But we thought we addressed it. You should ask Boss, because we've been working with Boss. We sat down with them a couple times, so I thought it was taken care of.
Well,
Okay. So we can certainly work with them too, continually, because that's what we do.
But what's our role here? Because no resident should have to be underwater, not let their kids go out and play, have to have stuff sitting up a foot in their shed. I mean, that just shouldn't happen, right? So what's our role here?
My RV lot was fine until they put it under the road and dropped it into the woods next to that, right? So it's moving water around. We're on a swamp. I get it, but we shouldn't have that settled and accumulating. So I don't know what the right answer is, but Russ, let's take that on as the thought process, right?
Well,
Should we be?
to me, I guess
Should we
it's more
culvert?
more the thought process. Like,
basin?
what's our role? What can we do? What's the?
Well, your role is to fix what's wrong, but you're constrained by finances. That's your constraint. If there was always plenty of money, a lot of stuff could get fixed. But
I'm going back to it.
We can't undo what.
Was it designed wrong, or is it, to Casey's point, it's not being maintenance? Because if it's not being maintenance, that's a code enforcement issue, not a design issue. I'm trying to figure out what is the issue, and how do we get to the bottom of what the issue? Who decides what the problem is and how it's resolved? We let the residents just do it?
Yeah, we certainly got to we got to have a question.
You do.
Right? What's the right approach? Who was wrong? I mean, was it the developer that did it wrong?
It'll be a tough call.
Did we buy the
Since I've been here,
engineering?
a lot of people say it was designed wrong. A lot of people say it's maintenance. You can't look anybody, when they're flooded, how do you tell them they're wrong?
Can we then hire somebody to do the analysis?
If you identify certain kinds of problems, you can always hire somebody to take a look and do another study.
The problem is their property is flooded.
Right.
That's the problem. How do we get to the root cause of the problem?
But when you say hire somebody, are you saying that all of the residents should pay for that study, or
I don't know what I'm saying.
Okay.
Right? So
I'm just
all right.
I'm just
I don't
making
know
sure.
what I'm saying. I'm just saying this shouldn't be.
I'll
this shouldn't
interject
happen.
here for a second.
Yes,
I think this kind of goes along with what I've brought up in the past too. I think you had a chance to go around when we said, "Hey, go around with the police chief, see what they do." Right? Go around with the DPW director, see what they do. You gotta get a good footing here and get a good background. We got to get some homework done so you understand when you come into a council meeting what we're dealing with. We can go back through the board and commission meetings, right, and take a look. When these items come up, right, I do my homework. I know I've been here a little bit longer than you for Walled Lake, but we got to get that homework done so we're not just having a discussion about what ifs. We got to see what's been done, what still needs to get done, how much of it money is available to make it happen, and go through all the priorities and make a sound decision on what we need to do. Some of this stuff is actually going to be between property owners that the city doesn't have any control of, right? So when we talk about processes and understanding the depth of what the issues are, there's a process for that. Sometimes it feels like it takes too long, but it has to go through that process to understand where the responsibility is. But the best thing for us is to do our homework so we can understand how to best use the city's money for city issues that we're responsible for, right?
Okay, so this hasn't, to me, this doesn't have anything to do with doing homework. There's been an ongoing issue.
Sure.
With this grading, whatever it is, however it was designed.
I think to that point, though, you just heard Mary Beth said they did some work, right? I know the DPW had worked to do some work with BOSS or WRC, whatever it was, but I think it's best for you to understand what that is, why we have those questions. And maybe, Dan, you could help Councilman Chinzig out, right, and give him some information on the history, right? There's been a lot of work that's been done in Tri-A. I know a lot of people didn't like the work, the development that's over on Decker, but that was a 22-acre watershed, right? That's kind of eliminated. There's a lot of things in that area, and that area is pretty much the lowest. If you look at a plat map, right, and you understand that that's the lowest level area that feeds into the lake, you know, maybe that's where we need to have a priority for additional things, right? But we need to go through that.
So before that was built, there wasn't those issues on Sparks, right? And then that was built and they're having issues. So I don't have to do a lot of homework to know that something is amiss.
If I may, I mean, this is a
Thank
walk-in
you.
topic.
Yes.
Right, so there's been no opportunity to have studied up ahead of time. That's
Right.
a walk-in topic.
Correct.
However, I think it's reasonable that we address this in an expeditious manner in the next meeting, but I think we need to take the next week or two to get a better handle, you and
Yeah.
I and the new team
Which
members.
I'm
to
fine
figure out
with.
where-
I'm fine with. I guess I'm asking then what is the process then of what we can do to try to help? If it's residents resolving it, how do we help residents resolve this? Because this is untenable.
Yeah, I think we need to make sure that it's on agenda for the next meeting, and I think you and I and maybe Dennis need to do some homework, meet with the city employees, and then start digging in that information and finding it, and then coming back and then with the proposal. That's my thought.
I like the idea.
I'm fine with that.
But you're right, it doesn't seem to be right for people's houses to be underwater.
Sounds like it's been an ongoing issue for a long time.
It shows up in
Right.
minutes
And so
from many meetings.
To sit here and say, you know, let's kick it down the road more, I want to address it.
Well,
No, and it may be-
to be clear, I'm not saying kick it down the road too. So, at least that house that caught on fire right across from the Toast.
Yeah.
Right? So when I was walking around 6 or 8 years ago, to do this position, right? They said there was water flooding through their backyard. And that didn't happen when a few items got fixed. The neighbors next to the Toth said there's been improvements. They've seen the water go down, right?
Yeah.
You know, is it excess water? Are we beyond 100 year? Do we need to build stuff that's for 1,000-year floods?
Yeah.
You know, that costs a lot of money, so we need to understand that.
The house that burned down is actually, the leveling in the back of that place it needed to be regraded.
Yeah, but my point is, right, going through there before, right, they would always complain about water washing down, right? And then that was eliminated, right? That's one step, that's one piece of the puzzle. There's no smoking gun
Right.
here, there's a bunch of pieces.
Yeah.
that
When we doubled the density, that was definitely a
Right.
lot of water having nowhere to go, right? So I like the idea, so we'll come back and talk about this at the next.
Mayor,
Council.
let me clarify for staff, you got two similar but separate issues. You want to provide you with all the information you need to deal with the request for, and then we want to talk about the flooding issues that are.
Correct, it's two issues.
Correct.
We'll get that on the agenda.
And it shouldn't be too hard. I mean, it's been in every council meeting package, or 3 or 4 of them every year for the whole time since it was in the planning commission. Okay. Boards and commissions. Anybody, the applicant interviews, okay. I know we have a couple people that were applying for planning commission, and I think we had a proposal for, Mithil Amin wanted to leave the DDA, go to the planning commission, which I support. I'm gonna recommend that, and in that one, Brian O'Leary would like to go to the planning, or the DDA, instead of the application to the planning commission, which I think we approved them at the last council meeting. So I'd like to recommend those two modifications in board members.
So I'm Mithil Amin. I live on 415 East Wall Lake Drive. For any of you, those people that don't know me and my qualifications for the Planning Commission, so I've been served on the DDA for a while, and some of the people in the audience know from, some of the things I've done in the past. But I've worked with the city. When I built the house, I was the builder on it, the designer on it, worked with the engineers. I have experience. I've done several developments from medical centers and actually sports complex in the Legacy Center, strip malls, and I've been on both sides of things, from, serving and working and knowing like the rules with the Wall Lake legally and not so, our ordinances are very much outdated by decades, which opens us up to a lot of lawsuits. And so it was brought to my attention that, hey, a lot of things could be used for help. And so I'm willing to, step up and offer my experience. But if anybody has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Anybody?
You
We-
mentioned that
We want to do the swap of those
so if
two.
she's coming off the DDA, we have to approve that vote.
Yeah, if she wants to still contribute, if we vote for somebody else to be on planning, she'll stay on DDA. So we want to do the swap but if we had other people for the planning commission. So if, the request last time was that you guys wanted to interview.
So I'll move to add her to the planning commission and have her resign from the DDA. Will that resolve that issue?
We had some other applicants for the planning commission. I don't know if
We have other applicants? I thought there was only one.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Steve resigned or he withdrew his application.
Yeah, he's got a flood.
Mr. O'Leary, now you explained, switched, so.
Right. So we only
Right.
have one applicant.
So that's okay then. So
Ms.
you've
Amin,
made the
I'll need
motion?
a written resignation for the DDA, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's fine, just because it'd be a lot to do two boards, so.
You have the resignation, you already resigned?
She hasn't yet.
I mean, I can,
Is it, for the record, you need to move to receive and file her resignation.
And then
it
approve
won't be
the-
necessary to put that in, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then your nomination, that's essentially what it is,
Right.
for an appointment, and then they just say approved, and we're over, we're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'd like to make sure we start addressing the fact that everybody's, their terms all end on the same days. We got to break that up so it's different terms for different number of years,
So
right?
can we
So-
add that to the next
Yeah,
agenda?
just about every one of them, DDA, everybody's all retiring on the same day. And it's like we wipe out all the boards and commissions in the same day.
Can we add that to the next planning commission agenda to review terms and try to split them up a little bit?
And somebody they can ask for it. You know, we can ask
That'll
them for
take
it,
some
let them do it.
discussion, because you got state law that applies to
Yep.
some of it, and then the other ones,
Yeah.
councils by ordinance can probably make an adjustment.
Yeah, they were all originally set up 2 years and 3 years and 4 years. They were all separated. That way you didn't get a wipeout of all your tribal knowledge, right?
Different council, different mayor.
Yeah, yeah.
So to continue on that, let's separate it. I'll make a motion to modify yours so we can break it for
Okay, yep.
resignation of the DDA.
Yeah.
And we'll start with that one.
Okay.
Before you guys move on, can I just say hello? You guys are.
Yes, Brian.
Throw my name out there. I'm Brian O'Leary, live at 202 Witherell Street, and I've been out here since 2003. So just saw a couple things, seen things change a little bit, but definitely excited if I get the opportunity to help this city do nothing but get better. So I'm very excited about the opportunity here, and I guess we'll talk about this later on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, any questions?
No?
All right.
And then we'll do so we just voted on accepting the resignation.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
Vote on that.
can we roll call that?
I need a second.
We need,
I thought we did.
Roasted.
Who did the second?
Councilman Chisholm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Woods,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Arnold,
Yes.
O'Rourke,
Yes.
Enzing,
Yes.
Gunther.
Yes.
Okay, that's the resignation, and now the appointment to the planning commission.
I'll move for that.
Can we have 1 second, though? I do want to ask a question. Ms. Amin, can you come back up, please? Listening into the DDA conversations, one of the things that I had a concern with, and I know when you actually applied, right, I was one of your recommenders. I took back a little bit listening to the representative from the Wall Lake Civic Fund, tried to bring in wanting to do drones, wanting to do more with the fireworks, right? Trying to do more in the downtown area. And I was taken aback a little bit in terms of you wanted to get more of the people involved that don't fund or help fundraise with the Walled Lake Civic Fund to put on the fireworks Can you explain a little bit more about that? Because I think you said
what-
that you did a walk around downtown and you talked to some businesses, and there
Yeah,
was a
so
lengthy
what,
conversation that happened. So
Yeah, so I was trying to get an idea because there was some pushback with some of the businesses, right? Because the
it was down to
fireworks,
one or
there
two.
was, they have tents, then they sell beer. So some of the other businesses said that, hey, we sell alcohol, we pay taxes. They have restaurants that sell alcohol. So what I had suggested was for us to fund the fireworks, instead of saying that we are funding fireworks, we said that, can you bring in costs for what the vendors are? So that I think they said something with the bouncy house, they said something with the stage. And so then the city would be sponsoring those specific things, and then it protects us from lawsuits too. So they had asked for 15,000 for the fireworks, which were approved. And then they asked 15,000 to sponsor this event. So the DDA land, we're like, hey, we can rent it for $1 or a nominal fee. And then the city officially, we're not officially sponsoring all of the fireworks and then the tent and all of that stuff with the beer. The city is officially sponsoring, I think they said it was like, it came up to be like 12,000 some dollars, not to exceed 15,000, so that they still got the funding for what they asked for, but it resolves that conflict because now the city is not sponsoring something that is competing with the downtown businesses. Then it's just a different event coming in, and then they're doing the beer and, you know, doing the tent and whatever else. And so
I think
that
the
was
comment
what.
that was important for me that you stated was the businesses lose revenue or they lose traffic down in that area.
No,
That was kind of confusing.
Oh, so I was just saying that I was not taking sides. I was just reporting what those businesses were saying. So those businesses were saying that, hey, they were losing revenue to this. And so then I was saying that, hey, this is the opposing argument, and to find a halfway solution. So if that was the opposing argument, then the city's not causing them to lose revenue in that, because we're not sponsoring a competing event directly, because we're not sponsoring the tent and the sale of the beers, and that we are sponsoring the stage. We were sponsoring the bouncy houses for the kids, and we are giving. I think Gunther was there. I don't remember exactly the list of things, but we literally went down like the 3 things and said, hey, we can do this without causing a conflict, so that, because the city shouldn't be, you know, taking sides with one business or the other, right? And so that's how it was solved. But I personally wasn't saying that we're taking all of this. I was just saying that we talked to them. We tried to find a resolution, because I believe Eddie's, they sponsor the fireworks through the Novi, and then there was a civic fund that sponsors it. And then there was, I guess, certain conflicts, and it couldn't be worked out. So that was like a solution that, you know, takes the city out of the middle of it.
I know the Bubble Shack also was very concerned that there was like, you know, elephant ears and other desserts being, you know, offered when they're right there. You know, they're like, why are we bringing in people from outside to compete with us on one of our biggest days of the year? So I do know that was a concern with
Yeah, and it wasn't
more
just
than
the
just
bars.
one or
Two
two.
things I'd like to bring up. During that DDA meeting, I think we discussed how many people come around to the downtown area. I think we decided around 50,000 people come to
I think
the
it's 40.
downtown.
I think it's
40,
40.
50,000, what's the difference of 10,000 people? You cannot fit 40,000 people in all of the businesses in downtown. So I want to make that note. I want to make the second note that the money that is raised at the beer tent is money that goes back to the Walled Lake Civic Fund for your fireworks. It is not going in somebody's pocket. It is not somebody that's making money. It's money that's raised to be given back to this community.
Yeah, I wasn't taking sides either. I was just telling
I
you
wasn't either.
what the
Yeah, and so at the end of the day, you know, it got approved. I was one of the votes that approved it,
No, I
but it
sat
was
right there.
done with a way where it was worded in a way that the city's not taking sides, right? Because we are not sponsoring the food trucks. We're not sponsoring the beer tents. We were sponsoring the bouncy house. We were sponsoring the stage. We were sponsoring the fireworks. So the event could move forward. It would benefit the city. But no one business could come and sue the city saying that, hey, we are taking sides, and it also closes some of the liability loops. So that's how that was handled with the DDA.
I agree with the liability closure, and I'm glad that that has been stepped up. I am concerned about future events, right, that the community is holding, right? We got to get past this tit for tat that we see going on. When representatives come and say, hey, I've got an idea to amp up the show, do a drone show, right? And then get the feedback from you on that. And, the next comment is, well, do you not want us to have this? Do you not want us to do that? We've got to be proactive with people that want to volunteer in the community and want to make Walled Lake better, right? So when we have 50,000 people coming through, I think we're giving ample attention to some of the businesses that are down there, whether they're next to the beach or whatever, but we have to work together here. We can't keep working and knocking people down for a community event. For me, listening to that and some of the other meetings, right, in the council, or not the council, but just the comments going back and forth, that seem to be knocking down people that want to volunteer. For me, that's not helping Walled Lake. And I did recommend you, right, as you were on the DDA, but for me, I can't move forward with a yes vote for you to go on the
just a
planning
little
commission.
confused,
just
though.
because of the meetings that I listened to and attended to, and just hear the interaction that goes on. I can't do that. I respect that you volunteered and you want to volunteer more, but for me, I respectfully am going to vote no.
I echo Mr. Woods, Councilmember Woods' remarks. Thank you.
That's an interesting point. I'm not sure I agree with the way you read the
Yeah.
statements.
I didn't read the statements. I actually listened in, so I called in.
Yeah, well, I mean, the way you read it, not the way you read it, the way you read it. How you interpreted, I had a totally different perspective on what she said to me than you did when she spoke. So
That's fair.
it's
Yeah,
always
and you're
it's always
voting
where
for
there's
yes
always
vote.
multiple perspectives on the same thing that happens.
Yes.
Right?
And
And this is just feedback that I
Yeah.
took from multiple meetings. So for me, that's how I'm making my direction on my
Yeah.
vote. So I'm worried about making sure the city moves forward and together, right? We have a lot of volunteers. We talk about volunteers going on boards.
Yeah.
And it's important. We need people to step up and volunteer instead of knocking people down.
Well,
We need
if I
them
may
to step
speak-
up. We need to have a Wall Lake Civic Fund that says, hey, I'd like to do a drone show. That'd be great. I'd like to do fireworks. That'd be great,
Yeah.
right? We don't need the feedback that's going to say, do we need to retract? Do we need to not do that? So
Okay,
I want to
well,
be on a positive manner here.
So
And that's
if
my
you-
fair opinion.
Right, but if you go
Yep.
back, right, I never said anything about retracting the drone show. That was RJ saying that, hey, do we or do we not? Because one of the other DDA members said, hey, the drone show would cost the city $120,000. And so with the DDA, they didn't vote on any of
It
that.
wasn't $120,000.
Yeah, I think the lowest
whatever it
one was
was.
40. And if you went to like a crazy big 3D drone show, I think it was pretty expensive.
The amount that the DDA
Yeah.
approved, right? We're
And
talking
it
about
wasn't even-
$4 per resident in Walled Lake.
Yeah.
for a
Right,
community
but
event, which
that
I think
wasn't
is-
even.
Yeah, it's really
I think
good.
it's time for us to vote. I don't really like this going back and forth, or we'll be here all night.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Let's go.
I do. Before we vote, I would. Hey, Ms. Amin, this is Dennis O'Rourke. I do have a question for you, though. You had mentioned earlier that there are several codes that are outdated. What would you prioritize as a couple of those to change and update right away?
So we have codes that are some of them are very ambiguous, right? That are open to interpretation. I don't really know it off the top of my head. But for example, I think, let's say for aesthetics or certain things, like they don't have building materials, right? So somebody can put, I think there was somebody that came from the Planning Commission where they wanted to put foam on the building as a facade. Now, the building code does not list out anything as to what is and is not acceptable, right? And then I think from the city's point of view, they had said, so like, for example, with me, if I take the developer side of things, the way that the code is set up is you maybe go to the DDA, then you go to the Planning Commission, then you go to the City Council. Or if you deal with other cities, you first meet with the Planning Commission or the planner. And you say, hey, can I do this or not? And the planner kind of gives you a checklist. And then they will submit, the packet for the planning commission to review, and they usually all get anywhere. It's a little different from city to city, but most of them usually get like a month to 3 weeks to be able to review it. Where our planning commission right now, they're literally handed a packet and said, vote on it, right? And then a lot of it is incomplete. So then the developer goes back and says, hey, this is incomplete. So then they spend money on the architect and the engineering. And then they come back and then it says, hey, this other thing is incomplete, right? So we don't even have a checklist for the developers to know that, hey, we need to do X, Y, and Z, correct? And so if we can kind of just bring our codes up to what, Wixom and Commerce and like any of the surrounding things are doing, because it was brought to my attention that I think our codes have not been updated by decades, and I'm sure our city attorney can speak to this, that, anytime there's things that are very, very ambiguous, it opens us up to interpretation and lawsuits. And so normally what they do is they'll go through, they'll put through like the code, and then they read it. It goes before council, it goes before the general public, and you would say why you need to update it. And then the council would vote whether it needs to be updated or not, and it goes through the legal, right? But the fact that it hasn't been done for decades is an issue. And then there's a lot of things that we can't move forward with because it's outdated. So one of the things I had proposed when I was on the DDA, because I do believe in volunteering in that, is that lot that the DDA bought. They have colleges that do capstone projects, and they will use the students, and they will, they use it to build on their resumes. They get real world experience. And when I talked to one of my contacts at U of M, and for them, they're just like, their students have to go through the codes. They have a list. And when they looked at it, they're like, hey, this is too ambiguous. They wouldn't know, how to do it. Where the university students are basically volunteers, or sometimes the city may, pay as much up to a maximum of $5,000 to support, the universities. And then they work a semester long for their students to work on real world, like urban planning sort of things. But without having some of the things updated, we can't do that. Or even some of the things like getting grant money, and that there are certain things that are so ambiguous that kind of disqualifies us for it. But I don't have like the ordinances and stuff in front of me to tell you exactly what it is. But I'm sure Van would be able to speak to that a little bit more.
Okay, so one would be ordinances collectively. You'd want to review those as on planning commission.
Just certain ones. I don't think that they're all with whatever, but certain things that fall in the preview of planning commission, I think they need to be reviewed and updated for, some of them might be up to code, and some of them that are well, outdated need to be brought up to standards with what it is for the surrounding communities, and then kind of close some of the loopholes that open us up for basically liability.
Okay, any more discussion?
Have we received grants?
Have we received any grants?
Just curious.
Just curious. Anything ever?
CDBG and the roads.
Yeah.
Okay, so our codes are up to date enough to receive grants, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Thank you.
Not to all of the grants, some of them, yes.
I'm not doing this.
All right.
I'll do a little bit of it, because what are we being so combative about this? It's okay. You don't want to vote for a person, that's fine. But tit for tat on a grants. I mean, I agree. We've got we've got codes that say
There was a discussion of whether we get grants or not. We get grants for projects.
Well, I think
we don't. She said we
this
don't
is where
get
this is where you hear
maximize
two
the
different
grants.
things, right? I heard something, you heard something, you took it the wrong way, I believe. She said there are some grants you can't get because the ordinances in the city say you may, or you could, or you might, instead of you shall. And that gives the kids in the capstone projects a real hard time if they don't have specific guidelines. They don't really know what to do, because it says, we'd really like it to be aesthetically pleasing. I don't know how you define, like, what is aesthetically pleasing? It's very clear, right? And even the contractors that were here for that said, yeah, I don't know how to get a definition of aesthetically clear. That was the guys for the next to the Dairy Queen, the school property. They're like, yeah, we really should change that. So, okay, somebody, we've nominated, or we've had the interview. Would you like to nominate?
I've already moved.
Okay, and we had a second.
We have not had a second yet.
Arnold seconded.
Oh, we had a
Arnold
second?
I did, but I don't mind.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you did.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Roll call.
Ambrose.
No.
Arnold.
Yes.
O'Rourke. O'Rourke.
Yes. Yes.
Shinzing.
Yes.
Woods.
Respectfully, no.
Gunther.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried.
The O'Leary.
Yeah, I'll
change of
move.
Positions.
I'll move
that-
to,
for that.
for O'Leary on the DDA.
I think he's probably much better suited for DDA as well.
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Who's second? Who's second?
Ambrose.
Ambrose did.
Okay.
Ambrose, I'm
Okay.
sorry, I'm trying to get up to the mic. Arnold. O'Rourke.
Yes.
Shinzing.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Gunther, thank you.
Okay. I don't think we had anything else that was hot, because we had approved all the other ones last meeting. Board's consent agenda. I went through most of that.
I moved to receive and file, that's all, and then move on to the rest of the stuff. We don't need to.
Okay. Second? Receive and
second.
file? Okay. Roll call, yes.
Okay, O'Rourke.
Yes.
Shinzing.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Arnold. Gunther.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got a
I'd like to move
request for
to-
closed session?
I'd like to move that to the end of the meeting.
Sure.
What's the second that?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Discussion on DM Motors, we didn't really do that. I'd asked if we could get them to attend, Van, what'd they say? Oh, okay. Hey, guys, I didn't even see it. I got surgery on my eyes, I can't really see.
You
it.
sat
That's my
through all
face.
that, huh? I thought you were here for the boat slips.
Yeah.
We've
No,
got
I was
slips,
able
but
to
they're not
get in
for
touch
votes.
with them and
Thank you.
and invited them here tonight.
We want to start out by apologizing to the city of Walled Lake for the time lapse that this is going through. But back in the fall, I kept mentioning to Drew, I kept saying, have you gotten any emails from Hannah? And he said, no, I haven't. And time just passes by, and then I find out she left. And we were kind of like, oh, okay, well, we got to do something to start this process again. And so we're back on it. And that's what we're here for tonight, to just assure you that we will come to a amendable agreement on what all the city wants us to do.
Yeah, I mean, look, Dennis and I came out to see you guys, and I thought it was a really constructive discussion. You said, yeah, we're moving the address to Decker, so it's not on Maple.
Correct.
Yep. And then we still kept seeing the
Yeah,
trucks. And I know you can't control the truck driver, but
Are you
do have
clear
to
of
have
what we want?
You do have to have the space for it, right?
Yes, yes,
And I thought you guys had showed us a little bit of a sketch and
yes,
layout.
yes.
So what,
Yeah,
what are we having a hard time with?
There's a where we're gonna do the truck route. There's a concrete spot where the trucks bottom out at, and we're actually have a pavement coming to finalize that and fix that.
That's legitimate.
But are you clear at like the specific site plan that we're looking for, or the
sort of
quality of engineering we're looking to be able to approve, right?
Yeah, well, I was a little bit confused in that we had an engineer doing it, and then I was told that we had to send it over to Boss Engineering, and I thought we were gonna have to pay for that, and I thought, geez, we gotta pay for another one. But then it was told that, no, they just work for Walled Lake on retainer, that they do look at the stuff.
Okay.
So the engineer is working on that, and we wanna get that over to him as quick as possible.
Okay. And you're working with our planner and staff and?
Well, I was told now Jennifer is Hannah's new replacement. Are you?
And you have all the letters,
Yep.
right? In the most recent communication from City Attorney Venerian
Yes.
had those letters as well. So when you resubmit all of those items in those letters need to be a part of your resubmittal.
Okay.
That will help with the
Gotcha.
clarity in what you need to submit, so please review those letters.
Okay. And
Yeah.
bring them to you.
No, you're gonna turn everything into the city, and if I'm
Okay.
not here, another staff member will help you, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
But if he has questions like, the engineering has questions, he can work directly with Mario, right?
Well, no, all communications come through our
Oh, it comes
office
through you?
with us,
Okay.
And then we disperse it out, so nothing is missed between
I see.
consultant and applicant.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I got to tell you guys, we had discussion that they hadn't heard from you guys. They hadn't seen any progress. And I know we'd come to see you. And what really came up is a lot of the citizens, because we're doing that new Speedway or whatever that is. Is it Speedway at a 7-Eleven?
yeah.
That, in that corner and that intersection, I mean, you always see the flowers there from the kids who get killed in the accident. And it's like, are we really safe here? And having an 18-wheeler parked with a bunch of cars on it is just not, it's not going to make us all feel
Yeah.
like, right?
Yep. Believe me, we know.
Yeah.
And sometimes, on occasion, Saturday and Sunday, we're not there.
Yeah.
They may drop something, and we don't even know that they're there. We don't really know how, because he puts it in all the listings to go off Decker.
Yeah.
But I think 80% of these guys can't speak English. And I mean, we use translators on our phones, but it's a real problem. I mean, I don't know.
And just so you know, so that property north of you that you want to use, that's gonna have to be included in the site plan. Correct. So they have to know that they're gonna be involved in that.
Yes.
And then whatever we agree to on that, they're gonna have to comply as well.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank
Anybody
you
have
so
anything else for these guys? Because we got to move on with
Sure
this
you don't
topic.
wanna
It
go
shouldn't
back
be
to
there.
the boat slips? We could talk about that.
Well, yeah, for hours. Or Gliwa. We could talk about Gliwa for hours. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. But let's get this done as fast as possible. There's no reason to hang on. You guys are moving so many product there. It can't be from a lack of money. All right? And just make the chief happy, okay?
Thank you.
Okay. That one's done. Second reading. We don't really have to do that, do we? Oh, we do,
Yes,
don't
you
we?
do.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, this is back before the city council for second reading. It's a zoning ordinance amendment that instead of making a joint ZBA Planning Commission member mandatory, it instead makes it optional.
Right.
So you can still do it if you want to, but you don't have to. It did go before the Planning Commission at last week's Planning Commission meeting. The Planning Commission did hold the required public hearing. The Planning Commission did recommend adoption, that it be sent back to the City Council with a recommendation that City Council move to approve and adopt the ordinance via the second reading.
Okay. Anybody have a discussion point or no?
What do we have to do?
At this point, entertain a motion to approve second reading of ordinance
C-375-26.
C-375-26.
Would make the motion to approve. C-375-26.
Great.
Ambrose will second.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Only if you have a financial.
Okay, Shenzing,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Arnold.
Yes.
O'Rourke. O'Rourke is signed off. Gunther.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good first special meeting.
In California, it's like 8 o'clock there. He's in California.
Yeah, I know. And it's not even dark yet.
Oh,
California. Item 2 in new business was 2026-09, defer special meeting requirements for budget presentation and adoption.
Go ahead.
I didn't catch that in the
This is just
pre-read.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is just an annual housekeeping item
Right.
to just move the budget hearing and the public hearing to our regularly scheduled Tuesday meetings, which are the 3rd of the month. So we're just moving it from that Monday to that Tuesday.
You have to move it every year,
Yes.
one day?
Yes.
Why
It's
don't
a
we-
charter provision that some of you complain about.
Oh, we need to
So we can fix that
So,
someday? Okay,
that,
never mind.
That ought to be one of the very first
Yes.
charter things that you change.
Yes.
Secondly,
And when we get sworn in, that's
well,
off by a week.
we're simply doing it, I mean, if we didn't show up Monday, it's going to go to the next agenda,
Yeah.
but as a matter of a record and creating that,
All right, so
we've
we
been
should-
doing that since the day I got here. In the old days, they would have the meeting and get $50, you know, and 35 and whatever. Yeah.
So I move to, I move to approve this resolution.
Why would you do that
As
for
stated.
$50?
Second.
Second. Thank you. Roll call. All in favor?
Okay,
Aye.
great, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good.
Write it all down.
Yep, got it.
Closed session.
Then we're at,
Closed session.
yep. Only one thing for fire chief. We talked last council meeting about having some extensive number of calls to a particular business or residence. I want to really see something like what they all were. What are the different types of calls that have come in? I don't know if you've got it or it's easy to put together.
For the villa?
Yeah.
So in the last 3 years, we went on 509 calls at the villa.
Yeah, it's
So I
insane.
can give you that. I can give you that if you want it.
I really like to see that in the breakdown of what they are.
Yep, I can
'Cause
show you exactly what they are.
if what they need is to have a on-call nurse.
So
right?
the villa is not an assisted living center. They do not have.
I know.
It's not assisted living, so they do not have to have that provision.
Yeah, but
And we
once
can't.
once they start having
So
the
I
fire
will say
department as
this.
as
So
our
I will
health
say this. I've
backup.
worked here for 26 years. When I first started here,
Yeah.
the villa would let people live there until they literally died. They now have the service workers that work with them, and when we start running on people too many times, they move them out and they get them into a proper facility where they need to
Right.
be, and then someone takes their place because there's a lot more older people nowadays.
Right.
So they do a really good job, and when we start having issues with someone where we're going constantly, especially for like lift assists and things, where because they can't live on their own, they do take care of it.
Yeah, but 500 visits in 3 years is just insane.
Well, if there's other facilities that in other communities, they go on even more. So
Yeah.
so they're actually doing better. Like I said, when I first started working here, we went to the villa even more. So it's actually gone down.
Oh.
So that's better. The 509 in 3
brilliant.
years is better.
That's
So
brilliant.
they've done a better job of moving people out.
Yeah.
Our numbers are actually doing better than what they were 25 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, if you got the raw data, I'll take
But
it.
I can give you that
If
data.
you got it, Paretoized, that's great. I'd like to see it because if there's some argument we can have that they need some type of extra vision, right? Somebody that would make a decision before we call because my butt hurts. That's an interesting call. Okay, so that's with that said, guys, we're gonna go into private session. We've got some special discussions that are covered by Section 8 of the Open Meetings Act, and I think it's confidential client communication. So you're welcome to stay so we can close out. But I really have to use the restroom for like 2 minutes. I'm floating. So, thank you.
No, I think. You're okay.
Hey, Lena. When you get updated. See ya. Yeah. Hey.
Oh, you did bring that?
Thanks, Vaughn. Appreciate it.
We left
We're getting out of here.
Hey, no, we should.
All right, so let me know if he's,
No,
hey, is,
he's not gonna be in tomorrow. He said he's got another thing, so. If you wanna meet with him, we can switch it up.
no. Will he be next Wednesday? That's right. Okay. Okay.
up going away when you don't.
All right, so next Wednesday, I can come in the morning?
Oh, that was
There's-
your last meeting.
There's
Empathy for
Do you want me to block off some time?
Just like a half an hour.
Do you know what time you're thinking?
There's a lot of money and time.
What
I
time does
put
he get
into
here?
that beer
He's
tent.
here
A lot of
between
money and
9
time.
and noon, basically. So if you have a specific time.
Probably 9 to 9:30.
Okay.
Yeah, 9 to 9:30. I'll miss
He
my
does,
grandchild.
he does, as part of the agreement or the.